Hi, folks. Andrew here. The face who runs the place. Popcorn and whiskey. Saturday night, August the 8th. That's right. August the 8th, 2026. Salute to all my good friends. Ah, yes, we are breaking all the rules of live streaming. I am eating, I drink on air, live, in the microphone. You don't like it? Don't know what to tell you. That's what the show is all about. Okay. Hey, here for first time. Appreciate it. Check out over here. Buy me a coffee or your drink and support the show. AndrewPaletto.com/drink. If you like what you see, go support the show. I would appreciate it. Well, got that going on. Okay. So tonight we will be talking about several different things. Got some golf stories for you. I want to talk about these dating videos that have been showing up, and I'll get into that as we go along. And a controversial topic, and I'll probably take phone calls with this. If you want to call in, let me know. Men in women's sports. That's right. I said it. Controversial, absolutely. Well, to some people, there shouldn't be any controversy at all. A man should not be in women's sports, period, end of story. We'll talk about that. If you have an opposing viewpoint to that, I would love to hear you. Come on the show. We will have a friendly debate on this one, and we will go from there. Okay. So, all right. Let me get this show started here. All right. Tonight, I do have the famous homemade brew. Here we go. Barrel aged, absolutely delicious. We'll leave it at that. And for all you playing the at home version, yes, I do have my popcorn today. Now, I want to put this out there for any place that would love to sponsor me with some popcorn. You're more than welcome to. I am for sale. That's right. The right sponsor comes along, I am for sale. And right now, the popcorn of the day is the cheapy one, the Act 2 popcorn, microwavable popcorn, extra butter, of course. Is it the most healthy thing? No. This is not my health show. So don't feel like it's going to be all health and good stuff. It can be. We can talk about it, and I can be doing that kind of stuff, but not so much tonight. I got a show like Popcorn and Whiskey. It's not health and fitness. If you want that, I have the top fitness strategies on my other channel. Go check it out. Well-rounded over here, folks. We talk about it all. That's right. Man, something just popped into my head about the health and fitness. A gentleman, I got this shirt is bugging me right there. Yeah. I got this, got to make this all straight and pressed and everything else. Yeah. Okay. So, a gentleman I interviewed, gosh darn, it is going on. I'm going to guesstimate I interviewed him in 2009, 2010, something like that. Dan the Man, the Life Regenerator, Dan McDonald. I'm telling you what, the dude is something else when it comes to his health and fitness stuff. He's all about the Raw Food Society, all about raw food. And maybe I'll link to that sometime on here. The interview was great. We actually, this is one of the few interviews that we didn't publish online, and we did this, him and I together, thought about this, and we actually sold it, the interview, and we did pretty well on it. He did more than I did because of the way we split the money, which is fine. I have no problem with that. And he's still kicking it after all these years. Now, he is doing something. I don't know exactly what it's called. How do I even want to explain this? Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can explain it. You know what? I will have him on the show sometime. I will reach out to him and have him on my show sometime so we can chit chat, and I'll let him get into it. But if you want to follow him, feel free to go follow him. Go look up Dan McDonald, or go to my page and look up the Dan the Life Regenerator. I'm sure he will appreciate the follow, even though he doesn't need it. He has a gazillion followers as it is. He does know me, just as an internet voice. Like I said, we did an interview close to 15 years ago, so I'm assuming he still knows me. But I don't know why I got off on that topic, but Yes, I'm being a little cryptic on that one, just for the sensitive nature of what has been doing, and he said today for 3.5 years. It was like, holy crikeys. Wow, that's interesting. So, okay. Hey Linda, how you doing? Thanks for watching, Linda. And my heart goes out. Thank you for all the comments. Appreciate that. It makes my day when you make comments. It really appreciate that. So thank you. So here's better of a thank you. Salute there. Here we go. And anytime you need something, you just call. Okay. All right. I got you covered. All right. There we go. All right. Golf stories. Like I said, I was going to talk about golf stories today. Now, if you follow my Facebook page at all, and the people who are watching on YouTube and who are watching on Twitch, sorry, I haven't posted them there. Maybe I should post some of my I'm not a golfer videos on there. Maybe I should see what people say about it. You never know. But I am not a golfer. I bought golf clubs in the early 90s. Probably 93, 94 at the latest. I bought golf clubs from a place in Indianapolis, Indiana, called Play It Again Sports. They were used golf clubs at the time. Don't know how old they were then, and I still have them now. I have changed my driver and my wood. Okay, so I've changed those. Other than that, haven't changed a thing. I finally got them re-gripped this summer. I told the story about that before, and I'm not going to get into it now, but it was pretty comical story. That's how I found out that these clubs are probably at least 50 years old. And that's from the people who are re-gripping them. So if not older, which to me, they're fine. No issue whatsoever. Since I purchased them, and at the time I purchased them for business reasons, for the business I was doing in Indianapolis. And the few times I actually golfed in Indianapolis at a high-end golf course, there was a course that just had recently opened up. I don't know how long it had been there, but it was called Purgatory. People say it's a tough course. Couldn't tell you the first thing about it. All I know, it's cost $90 at the time to play for 18 holes, which is about 11 holes too much for me. Okay, keep that in mind. And I played with a business partner of mine who was a pretty good golfer, and then two potential clients who are excellent golfers, and me who sucks at golf. And it was one of my first times ever playing. The reason I started playing is for, like I said, for business purposes. Well, after we didn't get any business from it and the waste of $90, I said, you know what? Maybe this isn't the sport for me. So I would occasionally play, nothing major, maybe once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year during the early 90s, mid 90s, something like that. But it was like way too expensive for me, and I didn't want to do that. Then I moved around different places. I did not play when I was in Cleveland, even though I had my clubs with me. I did not play in Cleveland. At least I don't remember ever playing in Cleveland. I lived there for a couple of years. I did not play in West Palm Beach. I lived over there for 6 months. I did, however, play a few times when I was in Englewood, Florida. I think I played twice, maybe 3 times in a par 3 golf course, and that's basically every hole is a par 3. We'll not get into a lot of details. If you know golf, you understand that. If not, don't worry about it. It's irrelevant. Moved back to Clinton. I was playing probably once a year at a couple of outings that different organizations had here in town. Played at the 2 golf courses that we have here in town, the Matthews Golf Course and Geneva Hills Golf Course. Played them, whatever. Again, nothing major. 18 holes, which is about 11 holes too much, like I said earlier. So one of the golf courses, Geneva Hills Golf Course, the family who owns it put out a message on Facebook saying they're looking for people to help basically run the clubhouse on certain days of the week. So I replied to him and said, hey, I'm more than happy to help out if need be. So I went in and talked to them, the 2 brothers who owned the place. I'm not going to mention any names. It's not fair for me to do so outside of the golf course. If you know the area, you know the golf course, you know the family. It's simple as that. And talked with the 2 brothers, and they said, hey, we need you a couple days a week, blah, blah, blah. And the pay is not the greatest, to be honest with you. The work is not hard at all. It's very, 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 very simple. But you also have a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of equipment that you are responsible for, and a lot of money going into the cash register as well. So you're responsible for it. So there is the high end responsibility. Yes, I call it high end responsibility because this is not a cheap hobby. It's not a cheap sport. So people are paying good money to do to golf basically. And then when the family puts you in charge and trust you enough to be there, to me, it's a huge responsibility. So hat tip to the family for letting me do that and trusting me to do that for you. And in turn, I get to play golf on the course for free. So I got my clubs re-gripped this year. In other words, putting new handles on the club. Oops, sorry. You put new handles on the golf clubs. Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay. Because the other ones were, like I said, 50 plus years old. New handles on the golf clubs. So I decided, you know what? Might as well play some golf, take advantage of it, even though I don't know how to play. So I said, I might as well try to get more familiar with the game. I know the terminology. I know how that works. I know what to say and the protocols and most of the golf etiquette, rules of golf etiquette. I know most of them, or I'd say more than 50% of them. Let's say that. I'm sure there's I can learn something new for the rest of every day for the rest of my life, and I still won't know anything about golf. Okay, keep that in mind. But through the course of the last 2 months, 3 months, I have golfed more in the last 3 months than I probably have since I've ever golfed in my life. And I was thinking about this today because I actually went and played 9 holes a day, which ended up being maybe 7.5. I didn't complete the whole 9 holes. I was thinking about this today. I don't know. Let's see if I can remember how I phrased this. First of all, golf is not a relaxing sport. To me, it's not relaxing. Now, the first time I went out this summer, when I just went out by myself, I had a ball playing, trying to figure it out. Absolutely. And I put a video up there. I had so much fun just by myself trying to figure it out. Not a care in the world. Was it relaxing? I don't know if it was relaxing or not, but I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Since then, I haven't got to that high. Again, I'm always chasing that high to see if I enjoy it. I think my issue is, and this is funny to even say, I think my issue is on the golf course. It's not so much playing the game, it's looking for lost balls. I know it's the wrong reason to do it. I'm finding a few here and there, and I shouldn't be doing that. That should not be the reason I go to the golf course, but it has been, and I'm trying to break myself of that habit. Now, the other day I went out, played 9 holes, actually played all 9 holes, which is a rarity. I did not lose a golf ball. First time I ever played 9 holes and didn't lose a golf ball. So I was happy about that. Today, not so much. I lost 4 on 1 hole. Made up for it because looking for a couple of them, I found another one. So, it kind of came out even today. So, but anyway, hey, Headlocks, Heels, and the Havoc is in the house. How you doing, J-Mac? I was thinking about this today. I have not been enjoying it for the wrong reasons, if that makes any sense. I think I'm more interested in looking for lost golf balls than I am playing golf, which should not be the reason I'm playing to begin with. I know it sounds silly, it sounds dumb, but that's what it's turning into. So I need to break myself of that habit. In order for me to break myself of that habit, I can't hit balls in the rough. I have to be able to hit them straight. Now, one of the owners of the club, the family member, said this to me, and I've heard this a million times by golf guys, the same, but he said it to me in a different way. You always hear the term, no, hit them straight. You hear the term, just keep it in the fairway. If you didn't know, the fairway is basically the nice part of the cut grass where you hit the ball into. Okay. But he said something to me, and it resonated with me, and it made perfect sense in my brain. Not that the others didn't, but this one just did. He says, hit the ball where you can find it. Right? Hit the ball where you can find it. Like, hark. So I had to remind myself of that today. All right, hit the ball where you can find it. So if you do that, you're not going to go into the rough and start looking for the ball. You're not going to go into the weeds and the brush and the high grass looking for the ball, and then you can find other balls. I have enough backup golf balls where I don't need to worry about losing a few here and there. Okay, let's just keep it at that. So one of the things I've also been doing on the golf course is I've been bringing my camera, my video camera, well, my phone. Everybody has a video camera on their phone. And I bring a little tripod. And I've been setting it up behind one of the tee boxes where I tee off, and I've been hitting the ball that way to show you guys the different parts of the course, because I personally think it's a beautiful course. Do I have a lot to go on to compare it to? No, and it's not a negative thing at all whatsoever, because you're always going to find you can be playing in the nicest course on the planet, and there's always going to be a nicer course. Okay, you can live in the nicest house on the planet, but there will always be a nicer house. The niceness of a house, the niceness of a golf course is all in the person playing it. I happen to think this is a beautiful golf course. I do. And I'm familiar with it now. Not nearly as familiar with it like a gazillion other people. What is this? You just like a nature hook. Maybe it's supposed to be Hulk, a nature Hulk. All right, nature hook, Huck. J Mac, are you already tapping into the purple frog a little bit tonight, buddy? Because you misspelled something there. I don't know what a nature hook, Huke. I don't know what nature hook is. Huck. I guess it's hook. Maybe it's supposed to be Hulk. A natural Hulk. Hike. Okay, you just like a nature hike. Okay, that's it. It's a hike. All right. I don't hike it. I ride in a golf cart. I don't walk it. Are you kidding me? I ain't doing that. But anyway, so here's a golf story I was going to tell you about. The other day, I'm out. I'm playing what they call the back nine. A golf course has usually 18 holes at a golf course. So you play, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not going to get into it. 18 holes in the golf course. You have the first 9, they call the front 9. The second 9 holes, so 1 through 9 is called the front 9. This is any golf course, not just this one, any golf course that has 18 holes. Then you have 10, the holes 10 through 18 is the back 9. Okay. I've already told you guys, I do not like playing 18 holes of golf. I think it's way too much. Don't like it. Maybe if I was better and enjoyed it more for the long haul, I would, but nah, it just takes too long. So I always play the front 9 or the back 9. Granted, going back to the thing that I get to play, play the course complimentary. I don't like to use the word free because it seems like it's a cheap thing. No, I get to play complimentary because I'm an employee there. Okay, so play the back 9. First hole is a par 4. I shoot it in 5, so I'm doing good. Second hole, par 4, I shoot it in 5, doing good. For me, doing good because usually I'm on double or triple bogey. So if par is 36, and if I'm talking foreign to you, forget it. Don't worry about it. It's irrelevant. But just for the people who know, the par is 36 for front, 36 for the back of this course. I'm constantly, almost consistently hitting a 50. All right. Yes, I'm taking some liberties. Yes, I'm using mulligans, multiple mulligans per hole. Okay. Keep it at that. All right. Let's see. Matt Nolan. I just saw a video of a girl recorded of her dad pranking golfers because they live behind the golf course. They hit a ball over their fence and the dad was laying by the ball, making it look like the ball knocked him out. See, I don't like that kind of stuff. People might think that's funny. I don't. I don't think it's funny. I can see how some people do. It's just not my thing. But appreciate the story, Matt. So the third hole is, so this one goes over water, and I almost filmed this, and I should have, but I used a different club this time to hit it, and I hit it over the water, and it bounced about 2 feet from the cup. So I almost hit a hole in one. Like, holy crap. So I knocked it in for a birdie. So I'm doing great. Next hole, tee off, and man, I hit this thing long and straight. The next from the fairway, I get the 5 wood out, knocked the sucker onto the green in 2. Now this is a par 4, which a good golfer does it in 2. I'm not a good golfer. I just got lucky because the ground was hard and it bounced a little bit, and so I got up on the green. And I 2-putted for a par. So I got a bogey, a birdie, and a par. So best 4 holes of my life by far. Get to the next hole, tee off, boom, into the woods, lose a ball. Tee off another one, boom, other way into the high grass, lose a ball. Hit another one, barely makes it past anything. So I said, all right, I go out there, hit that, boom, into the woods. I dropped another one, boom, into the grass. I'm like, screw this. I picked the ball up, didn't even finish that hole, went to the next hole. I said, this hole, obviously this is bad luck for me. So I went to the next hole, teed off. It hit what's called a worm burner. So in other words, you hit it and the ball doesn't rise. It basically just goes on the ground and rolls on the ground for 30, 40 yards. Did that 3 times. I'm like, screw this. The golf gods are raining down on me for whatever reason at this point. So picked up the ball, went home. Didn't even finish, didn't even look for more golf balls. So there you go. Hi, Carrie Ann. How you doing, babes? Whiskey is right here. There you go. She's okay. Let me put this up there so you guys can see. Carrie Ann, where's your popcorn and whiskey, man? Here's the whiskey right here. Okay. Popcorn. Harder to show the popcorn on screen. Popcorn right there. And as I said earlier, this is microwave popcorn. This is Act 2 microwave popcorn you get from Walmart. So if there's any big popcorn companies out there who want to sponsor me, I'm all ears, man. Absolutely. Also, for those watching, I'll say it again. I'll say it often. Look over here. Buy me a drink or buy me a coffee. AndrewPlato.com/drink. You go over there. At least I hope that link still works. We'll see. I don't know. Go over there. Buy me a coffee. Buy me a drink. Okay? I'm using the proceeds to upgrade my equipment. I'm looking out this way because my back porch, I have a motion light. It just came on. I have this raccoon, used to come around here all the time. I haven't seen it for a while. There was a dead raccoon on the road when the buzzards were eating it the other day. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Sorry to gross you all out, but there you go. Okay. So that's my golf stories. Woo! Man, oh man. Okay. Got the popcorn. That needs a drink now. Let's talk dating videos. I'm just going to go through the order of what I had on what I want to talk about today. Dating videos. By dating videos, I mean, all right, let me get situated here. And I don't know, I must be in some sort of algorithm, and I don't know how I got on it. I'm not complaining. I just got on it somehow. But a lot of the videos I'm seeing are ladies talking about dates they've been on. First dates, second dates, whatever. And honestly, most of the videos I'm seeing, the ladies are bitching about the guy, but it makes them look like the bad guy. Makes the lady look like the bad guy. So most of them go like this. A guy slid into my DMs. For all you young people, you know that terminology. Some guy slid into my DMs. We started chit-chatting, talking up. He asked me out on a date. Show up on the date. The guy is running late, which I am a huge fan of being on time. If you're running late, that's a big negative to me. I understand in a bigger city there might be traffic issues, especially in LA. A lot of these ladies are talking about LA. The guy's late, or the women or the lady's late, or somebody's always late for the date. Then for whatever reason they don't hit it off, and they go on their separate ways. Then the lady's upset because the guy hasn't called her back. If they didn't hit it off, why is he going to call her back? But they're complaining about the guy not calling her back or not trying to hit her up for a second date or something. Why? If it didn't work out, or another one that I saw today, some lady was a what's it called, social influencer, whatever it's called, internet influencer, whatever it's called. She claims that the guy asked her out to dinner, and then he skipped out on the bill. Well, you heard his side of the story too. On this one, it wasn't dinner. He asked her out for coffee. She had to cancel. Asked her out for ice cream, but she wouldn't go for it because she's lactose intolerant. Then he finally says, "Okay, let's go out and have a drink sometime," which she agreed to. She showed up and started ordering all kinds of food. He's like, "I already ate before I got here. I was just planning on having drinks." And the whole time he said she was on her phone, which she acknowledged she was. They was going back and forth. She acknowledged she was. And he says he excused himself, went to the restroom, and left. And he sent her money for the drinks that he had. He had 2 drinks. And he sent her money for it and stepped her with the bill, which after she ordered all the food was like $300 for the bill. He says, I wasn't going to pay for her being on the phone the whole time, which sparked the video, the PSA I did last night. And that's if you don't know what PSA is, that means it stands for Public Service Announcement. If you're going out with somebody, whether it's a date for a romantic interest, a couple of friends hanging out, relatives, brother, sister, mother, father, whether husband, wife, whatever, and one party is on the phone the whole time, scrolling, whatever, that's just rude. I'm sorry, that is rude. You should not do that. If you do that with me, and if I'm with you, again, doesn't matter if it's a date in a romantic atmosphere or a romantic setting, or if it's a friend or family member, whatever. If you pull out your phone, start paying attention to your phone instead of having a conversation with me, hey, that's fine. If that's what you want to do. It's a red flag to me saying not interested in your company. I'm more interested on scrolling on a video on my phone, or texting a buddy on my phone, or messaging my girlfriends on the phone, what have you. I'm going to get up and leave. I will take care of my share of whatever we had, whether it be drinks, dinner, whatever. But don't expect me to stay. You know, I'm not at the point where I'm not going to be in second place to a phone. I'm just not. And if you have to be tied to your phone that much, you're the problem. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you are. Carrie Ann, hi. Carrie Ann, hi. I know you came on a little bit ago as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So yeah, if you're gonna be on your phone, I'm not being in second place to a phone. It's just that simple. If you are or have a different opinion than me on that one, let me know. We'd love to know. Matter of fact, here's what I'm going to do. For the rest of the show, should I do this in the scrolling? Maybe so. How do I make this scroll? Wait a second here. No, I just put it up like this. Okay. Call lines are now open. Oops. Sorry. Call lines are now open. If you want to discuss any of these topics I'm talking about, 765-505-7348. That is the phone number. Now, if you want to be a guest on the show, have a decent microphone, have a camera, and you can come on the show. Just send me a message. Say, hey, Andrew, I want to be a guest, and I'll send you a private message saying you want to come on the show. But if you want to call, feel free to give me a call. and we can talk about this. Again, 765-505-7348 is the hotline number. Excuse me. So, another one, another dating video that's common that I see, and this one baffles me as well. And it's usually the lady who does not like the politics of the guy she's with and just storms out of the place. Fine. If you don't like the politics somebody's they subscribe to, if it's different than yours, so be it. That's fine. It's not, you guys are not going to be compatible. But if political views are that important to you, you should find out before you actually go on a date and waste each other's time. It's just that simple. If they are that important to you, and again, it doesn't matter to me where you fall politically. I'm not going to ask before we go on a date. Now, during the date, if it comes up, I'll tell you exactly where I stand. And if you don't like it, well, or if it doesn't align with yours, I should say, that's great. I have a lot of friends who politically we don't align. Are we still friends? Yeah. We still hang out. We still have drinks. We still break bread together. So what? But if that's a deal breaker for you, that's a deal breaker for you. I'll tell you this story. I had, business-wise, I'm in a couple of networking groups because of my fitness business online, and I'm on a platform called Substack. Okay. And being on Substack, I'm in different groups within Substack. And sometimes these groups, we get together and we do Google Meet calls, Zoom calls, however you want to look at it, we all get together. And during one of these calls, there's a young lady out of Chicago. And if you didn't, and just for purposes, Chicago is about 3 hours from where I am right now. We hit it off business-wise, not any kind of romantic thing whatsoever, just business-wise, we hit it off. We are in two completely different areas of study or of business, completely different. They do not overlap at all, okay, at all. But we had a lot of same and similar ideas of how to present our product, okay? I'm not going to get into the boring details of everything. So, as we were talking, we can tell we both had subscribed to the same philosophies when it comes to online businesses. Okay, we'll leave it that way. So afterwards, and I don't know if she reached out to me or I reached out to her, whatever it was, but he says, hey, let's get together. Maybe we can do some sort of collaboration and help each other out. Again, we did not overlap at all. Our business did not overlap at all, but our ideas were similar on how to present everything. Okay. So we were going back and forth. We talked a couple of times via Zoom. It was going great. Winter Olympics started back in February. Opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics happened. And as the USA was marching through, did a parade of countries, which is great. If you didn't see it, it was phenomenal. I thought it was, I absolutely loved the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympics. I liked the Olympics more, but the opening and closing ceremonies were fun. And in the crowd, they showed Vice President J.D. Vance up there cheering on the United States, as a vice president should. And regardless who the vice president is, if they're there, they stand up and clap. Yay! All right, yay! Right? I posted something that says, "Hey, look, there's President VP J.D. Vance. Yay! Go! Hurrah, USA!" Within 5 minutes, I get a message from this lady saying, "Are you a J.D. Vance fan?" I said, "I just applauded the United States. But if you ask me if I'm a fan of his," I said, "Yeah, I am a fan of J.D. Vance. Absolutely, I am." She started giving me called me the most vile, the most hatred, the most disgusting words I've ever read. And again, up until this point, we've been 2 or 3 weeks, we've been talking on the phone, messaging, collaborating, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm the filthiest guy on the planet. and she says she can't associate with me. She doesn't effing want to talk to me anymore. I mean, she was downright rude. I could read you the thing, but I'm not even going to go back into it and do it. I don't want to dignify my airways with how she reacted. Blocked me, did everything. And all I said was, hey, you know, if because she wanted me to respond to something, I said, yeah, I don't let business or friendship be dictated by by who somebody likes or does not like, politically wise. If people are good people, it's going to come out. Now they might have different beliefs than you politically, but that doesn't mean good versus bad, um, positive versus negative. You can like one side, and I can like the other side, on a political view. We can both be positive about it. And you know what we can do afterwards if we disagree? Right there. Let's have a drink. Like I said, I have several people who disagree with me politically. So what? So what? The way the votes go in this country, about half the country leans one way, half the country leans the other. Does that mean you should hate half the country? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if that's your and it's also your choice to do so. All right. All the lady had to say, if she didn't want to do business with me anymore or collaborate anymore, says, hey, listen, I don't think this is going to work. We have different ideologies toward this, blah, 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 blah. Let's just go our separate ways. And I would have said, cool. Hey, that's what you feel. That's great. Instead of being so hatred, the comments, you effing blah, 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 blah. And I'm not going to say the word fuck. I'm sorry, I'm not. But she said effing this, effing that. And it was just pure hatred. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? Down there in Florida. This my buddy Mike just joined us as well. So there you go. So if politics mean that much to you and you're going out on a date with somebody and it's a deal breaker, you should bring it up before you go on the date. I don't know how else to put it to you, just that way. Also, if you're on a date and you're going to be late, I am a huge stickler for being on time. I pride myself for being on time for things. I try to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. And since we're talking about dates, except if you're going to pick somebody up. And I made this mistake once, and I won't do it again. I arrived to pick a lady up 15 minutes early. Again, Mr. 15 minutes early guy here. Mistake. Don't do that. If you're going to pick up your date, like I said, let's say 8 o'clock, don't show up at 7:45. Don't show up at 7:50. Don't show up at 7:55. Show up between 7:55 and 8 o'clock. Even if you have to sit out in the parking lot or down the road or at a gas station away a little bit, do not show up 15 minutes early. That's a tip for you guys right there. It did not go very well the rest of the night. She was just pissed off. Apparently she wasn't ready. Apparently she's a 15 minutes late type of girl. She wasn't ready at all by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. So it probably would have been better if I would have showed up closer to the time I was supposed to pick her up instead of 15 minutes early. So let that be a lesson to you. Like, die alone with your cats. Dude, I don't have any cats, so you must be thinking the other way around. Yeah, I don't believe single guys should have cats. Sorry, I just don't. There's another controversial statement you heard by Andrew. There you go. Okay, let me rephrase that. Straight heterosexual single guys should not own cats. Leave it there. Sydney says, I can pick her up. Hi, Sydney. I can pick her up 15 minutes early. Okay, Sydney. Yeah, I've been to your place of employment several times where you weren't even there. So I don't want to hear about it. But if we were to go out, Sydney, which you would probably have to get permission from your husband to do so. If we were to go out, yes, 15 minutes early is fine. We can do it. Okay. It's just that simple. So, yeah. Sydney, Sydney's a buddy of mine. She's come on before as well. So, the 15-minute thing. If you are the type of person who shows up to everything late, we will not get along. Simple as that. If you are going to be late, which I understand there are circumstances that cause people to be late. I get it. No problem there. Especially in today's day and age. See this thing? It's called a cell phone. You can call, you can text. There's several different ways you've been communicating with this person. You're meeting now, and let's say you're supposed to meet somewhere at 8:00, and I just use 8:00 as an example. And if you're going to be late, that does not mean that 7:58 you text them and say I'm going to be late. You know you're going to be late before then. Text them before then. Say, hey, I'm running a few minutes late. Whatever, something like that. Carrie Ann, you're exactly right on the single guy and cats thing. That's right. Yes, a single heterosexual guy. I guess it's a single straight heterosexual, or is it, if you say heterosexual, does that mean he's straight already? Should not have a cat. Period. End of story. I also believe a single person should not have a dog. And here's why. I have nothing against dogs. Absolutely love dogs. But a single person, unless you're a hermit and a homebody, all right, I'm going to assume most single people are not. Unless you're older, then different story. But then you got a whole different ballgame there. Sydney says single guys can't own cats, dogs, yes. Mike, what did you say here, Mike? I'm a believer in on time is when I get there. Don't bitch, I'm late. Thank you, lucky stars I showed. No, sorry, man. If you're gonna be late, I'm leaving. I will wait for 5 minutes. It's like, for instance, if we're supposed to meet at 8:00 and at 8:05 you're not there and I have not heard from you, I'm out the door. Why am I wasting my time if you're not professional enough, or if you're not courteous enough to inform me that you will be late? If that's the case, sorry, ain't happening. I was, and oh geez, I don't know. I shouldn't even tell the story, but I'm going to. When I lived in Cleveland, this was 2003, 2004, 2005, whatever it was. This is when dating apps for first coming. It wasn't even dating apps because phones didn't have apps at that time. This was dating online stuff. You had, and I don't even remember what it was, which dating site it was. Maybe it was something for the Cleveland area. But I matched with some young lady over there, and we got on the phone and started contact. This is also before texts as well, right before text. So we were able to communicate via email and through phone calls. Okay. We're supposed to meet at such and such place at such and such time. Well, I don't remember if she had called me or if she had emailed me. I don't remember, and it's really irrelevant, but she had contacted me asking if we can change the time and change the location, which was fine for me because the location was basically equal distance for where I had to drive. Not a problem. Time was like an hour later or something like that, half hour later. Fine. I agreed. Not a problem. I get to this other place. Waiting. Left. Never heard from her. Yeah, because she never showed, so I left. On the way home, I get a call from her bitching me out that I was not at the first place. I let her talk. I let her go on. She's telling me how rude and unprofessional and I what a jerk I was, and blah 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 blah. And I said, whatever her name was, we'll just call her Susie. Hey, Susie, do you remember the phone call or the email, whatever it was that you sent me asking me to change places? Dead silence, and the other side she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're right. Would you like to meet now?" I said, "Nah, this is done. We're not going. We're not going anymore. It was fun while it lasted, which it didn't, but whatever. And goodbye. End of story. We're out of here. Talk about woo crazy. So there you go. What is this, Carrie Ann? Sounds like the lyrics of that Shania Twain song, Mike. Okay. Just to clarify, die alone with your cats is my response to liberal women who say no. Okay. Carrie Ann, accept the roles reversed. But I could be late for a date. That's fine. But he better be on time. Oh, Shania, is it? Be late for a date. That's fine. But he better be on time. I'm glad you guys are having fun with this chat. That's good. All right. Yeah. Oh, Shania. I'm telling you what, if you read my post earlier today, anybody who follows this, anybody who knows me, anybody knows I am a huge Shania Twain fan. The 90s and early 2000s version of Shania Twain, physically speaking, personality-wise, don't know her outside of interviews and stuff, so I can't tell you. Physically speaking, that is it to me. Perfect from top to bottom. Perfect, a perfect female specimen to me right there. Until I saw Michelle Pfeiffer in Grease 2. Oh my God. Now we're talking 1A and 1B right there. Ooh. Okay. All right. That don't impress me much. Yeah. Oh, Shania. Wow. Michelle Pfeiffer. I can't say she's like that for other movies, but in Grease 2, oh yeah. And yes, it's a cult classic. Cult classic. Oh, speaking of cult classic movies, this was funny. I am training for a new position. I'm not going to get into it yet. I don't want to jinx anything, but as we're training, there's a group of us training. There's about 10 of us in this particular training class. I'm in for this position. I'm not going to get into details, but I'm standing next to another trainee who's female, a few years younger than me. I'm the oldest guy in there, so most of the people are younger than me. We were doing stuff, and I said, "Hey, I got to scoot over to you." And she's looking at me, with the evil eye, in a joking way. I said, "I get it. This is my dance space. That's your dance. This is your dance space. I get it." And she's looking at me, and the other people in the place were looking at me. I'm like, "Come on. I can't be the only one here who knows this movie." I said, "Let me say it again. This is my dance space, and this is your dance space." And people were looking at me, and she says, "Is that from Dirty Dancing?" I said, "Of course it's from Dirty Dancing." She goes, "I've never seen it before, but it sounds like something from that movie." I'm like, "Oh, wait a second. You can't tell me that." But I'm the only one in that class who has seen Dirty Dancing. So, okay, fine, no problem. And just by chance, and it happened to click in my brain, if you're into dancing at all, there is a cult classic movie called Strictly Ballroom. It's an Australian movie. Great movie if you understand the dance world, especially the ballroom dance world. Great, phenomenal movie. Plays up to the stereotypes to a T. All right, to a T. So I said in the class, if no one's here heard of Dirty Dancing, I will promise you no one's here heard of a movie called Strictly Ballroom. And the girl next to me, she goes, "Well, yeah, I know Strictly Ballroom. I used to watch it all the time." I'm like, you know the movie Strictly Ballroom? She says, yeah, I memorized it. So we were reciting lines back and forth to each other. Like, holy crap. And she's not a dancer either, but it's a cult classic. Yeah. Sydney, don't impress me much. She is so hot. Yeah, Mike. Sydney, love it. Yeah. Sydney, it was Showgirls for me. Showgirls sucks. That movie was horrible. The only good thing about it is you got to see Elizabeth Berkley naked, I do believe, from Saved by the Bell. Oh yeah, she's another one that's pretty hot. Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley. She's not Shania Twain or Michelle Pfeiffer hot, but she's hot. Right? And that was basically the beginning and the end of her career. Unfortunately, the Saved by the Bell. She wasn't saved by that movie by any stretch of imagination. J Mac, great dancing movie. Dancing 2 Electric Boogaloo. Now, I can't say I've watched it. I was never into breakdancing whatsoever. And as far as I understood, that's all about breakdancing, right? So can't say I watched it. Another dancing movie, which has a great tango scene in it, is the name escapes me for the time being, but it starred Antonio Banderas teaching a bunch of kids about ballroom. What the heck is that called? I'm not going to look it up. So if someone wants to look it up, great. But Antonio Banderas starred in it as a dancer about Latin dancing. And he has some hot blonde he does an Argentine tango with on it. I'm like, wow, that's great. And yeah, if you guys want to talk dance, I can talk dance. I'm one of the rare guys that you're going to find who can talk dancing and health and fitness and weightlifting in the same conversation. I just can't. And I'm not. That's not a bragging thing. It's just part of my hobbies here. J Mac, my favorite musical is Little Shop of Horrors. You know, I did not like that movie. Little Shop of Horrors, I did not like that at all. Musical wise, and it maybe because it's on my mind, but Grease 1, Grease 2, musical wise. Grease 1 had all the great BG movies, BG music in it, BG's music in it. And if you guys don't like the Bee Gees, something wrong with you. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was disco, but they were incredible. If you're into documentaries, and I will pimp this one out. I don't know who did the documentary. It came out maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago. The documentary on the Bee Gees is great. I would highly suggest watching it because it's great. It's a great documentary if you like those kind of things. J Mac, turn your caps off, will you please? My favorite rom-com is Murphy's Romance. I've never seen that one yet. Great movie, James Garner and Sally Field. Talk about a beautiful woman, Sally Field. She's okay. She's not Shania Twain and Michelle Pfeiffer hot. She's if those two are the standards in my book, 10, Sally Field in her heyday, maybe at 5, 6, something like that for me. It's hey, J Mac, we should have that one night about chicks like that. Sydney, has anybody seen Death Becomes Her? It starts with a musical scene and ends so funny. I've never seen Death Becomes Her. Nope, never seen it. Sorry, never seen it. My thoughts are not going to attractive women. I don't want to get into that. I'll have to have J Mac on the show with me sometime. We'll talk about females in movies. That's what we'll talk about. Okay, who we think is attractive in movies. or in a TV show, something like that. But musical wise, I can't think of another musical that I really enjoy that I'll watch over and over again. Oh, Footloose, was that a musical? You can say Footloose, I guess, yeah. No, because you didn't have a lot of people singing in it. Had a lot of people dancing, but it wasn't a whole lot of singing going on in that. So, Mamma Mia, God, I hated that movie. I did not like that movie whatsoever. Pierce Brosnan, you were great until then. Your James Bond was no longer Mr. Suave and debonair anymore after that movie. Sorry. Sydney, I don't think I'll be picking you up 15 minutes early for any dates because we couldn't decide on a movie we like together. So I don't think that's going to happen. Sorry. I tell you right now, it's not going to happen. Meryl Streep, I'm more of a Glenn Close fan, and just because she was in the television show The Shield, which JD and I spoke about once, he had a show about The Shield, and she knocked it out of the park in the show The Shield. She was well beyond anything I could have expected from her. She was phenomenal. J Mac, turn your caps off, will you please? Sally Field, I like her. I really like her. See what I did there? No, I don't see what you did there. I don't see what you said there. I like her. I really like her. Okay, I guess that had to be from a movie. Okay, I don't know that one. So, okay. All right. So here we go. The controversial part of tonight's show, if I haven't stepped in it already. Men in women's sports. All right. I'm also going to tell you, if you have want to talk about this at all and be willing to talk about this, 765-505-7348. Give me a call and we can chit chat about men and women's sports. All the controversy going on with Sophie Cunningham and what she has said in the WNBA, which is spot on, balls on accurate. And these, I don't know if they're former NBA players or current NBA players. I don't know, who said that they want to go into the WNBA draft. And if you don't know these acronyms, NBA is the National Basketball Association, and the WNBA is the Women's National Basketball Association. Okay, this is professional basketball, basically. J-Mac, in her Oscar speech, she said, thanks for turning off your caps. You like me, you really like me. I didn't know she won an Oscar. What did she win an Oscar for? Balls on accurate. Thank you, Sydney. Absolutely. I didn't know that she won an Oscar, J-Mac. So so you got to tell me what movie she won an Oscar for. I know it wasn't Smokey and the Bandit. Was it for Forrest Gump? I don't think she was a supporting actress, was she? No, because it would have been Jenna was a supporting actress. Which, by the way, Forrest Gump should not have won that year. Pulp Fiction should have won that year. Yeah, Pulp Fiction was a much better movie. Sydney's laughing for Forrest Gump. It was Jenna. That's right. Okay, yeah. Enos Freedom said, how do I pronounce his first name? Ennis Freedom said he was declaring for the Women's League. Yeah, I heard that. The Women's National Basketball League. So think about this for a second, folks. And here's another example I got for you guys. Are there anomalies on each side? Yeah. Okay. Are there women who are powerhouses when it comes to athleticism? Absolutely. Are there some women who can beat some men in athletic competition? Absolutely. But generally speaking, and this is a figure I'm throwing out there, I have nothing to back this up. If you put a man and a woman in an equal sporting event or physical activity, 95% of the time, the man's going to surpass the woman. They're going to be faster. They're going to be stronger. They're going to be able to jump higher. They're going to be able to run faster, be more athletic than the women. I'm not saying the women are not athletic. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying in a similar sports capacity or physical capacity, men are going to be stronger than women. Physically speaking, that's human nature. Okay, the only thing that women are stronger than men are as one, of course, childbirth and at home stuff and being sick. Guys are pussies when it comes to being sick. Women are strong. That way, guys are we're just pussies. Okay, here. Let me get caught up here. When biologically designed, now Sydney. We are biologically designed differently. There is no escape from that fact. Therefore, I think trans sports should have their own league. Okay. All right. Good enough. Their own Olympics, etc. Okay. Sally Field one for Norma Ray. And Places in the Heart. Didn't see that one. He says those caps weren't mine. Okay. All right, J-Mac. Okay, whatever. So on my feed, on my algorithm, you know what? I just noticed I got too much what's called headroom here, don't I? But I guess when I come up like this, it's okay. So when I lean back, I have too much headroom. That's a professional term. If you're in a video world like myself, you know that's a professional term. So, and that's another thing. I got to quit saying so. That's more of a filler word, and I'm in the process of trying to eliminate filler words. For instance, a lot of people say the term or say the word like every other sentence. And when I tell you this, and when I say this, and it's already going to click in your mind because you've heard this already from me, you're going to be able to hear this more and more and more, and it's going to eat at you more and more and more when you start hearing the person you're talking with or talking to or listening to say like all the time. It was like this, and I was like this, and that was like this, and like that. Oh, it's going to drive you bonkers, especially since I just pointed out to you. Believe me, ever since it was pointed out to me, it just drives me up the wall when I hear something like that. I heard an interview from I'm not going to get into who it was, but it was a very prominent actor in her field. I guess acting field. And my word, every third or fourth word it was like. It was driving me nuts. And I wanted to hear the interview, but I had to turn it off because it was just driving me nuts. So there you go. Sydney, you're the Clintonian Joe Rogan. Okay. I'd have to start getting more guests on here to be Joe Rogan. That's right, locally. Speaking of that, Sydney, did you know we had something going on at the river today? Some sort of boats or something going on? I got a message from somebody that says you should be here filming this today. I didn't know anything about it, or I would have been. I'd been the man on the street. You know, I also try to get on the MC, the host for the Little Italy Festival, but they're going with some big name, the guy they have to pay. I was going to do it for free, so there you go. I did it for one afternoon a few years ago, knocked it out of the park, and it's not a bragging thing. I was just told by so many people how much fun they had that the afternoon. I guess it was a Friday evening when I did it. I actually went out into the crowd and I started interviewing people. I called it my Little Italy interviews, just interviewing people and talking with them with a microphone and everything else. I had a ball and I had so many compliments. You would think that the management would have caught on and say, hey, let's have this guy come back. But they didn't. So whatever. And they also said they would pay me for that, but they never did. And I'm not going to get into it. I wasn't going to contact them for it. If they didn't want to, they didn't want to, whatever. But it was fun doing it. Let's see. It was called Fan Boats today. Okay. And the Wabash River Run is coming up. I'm also volunteering. This is Sydney talking. She's also volunteering for the beer stand for the American Legion 140 for Little Italy. There's a beer stand for the American Legion. I didn't know anything about that. Okay. Interesting. For those who are watching that are not from this area, Labor Day weekend, Clinton, Indiana has a Little Italy festival going on. Come on down. Join the festivities. Say you know me. Well, maybe you don't want to mention my name. In some circles, that won't get you anything. Okay, so what were we talking about? We were all over the place tonight. We're talking about men and women's sports. Oh yeah, on my feed, on my Reels algorithm, if you will, for whatever reason, there's a lot of American Ninja Warrior, which I think is cool. You talk about athleticism at its finest. I can do without all the background stories and the heartfelt, touching stories. I can do without all that crap. That's my unsensitive side right there. Okay, so on my algorithm, on my feed, I'm getting a lot of the races from this year, last year, 10 years ago, what have you, and they're fun to watch. I like all the different obstacles they have to go through. But the last couple of weeks, they've been showing, I guess they've been doing races where you have two people compete instead of one going at a time. If you follow American Ninja Warriors, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. But they usually just have one person going through the obstacle course at a time. But then they started having two people going through the obstacle course at a time. Occasionally they have three. But I saw a couple where they had a guy against a girl. I guess it was for team purposes, and they score so many points. I don't know all the logistics behind it, but it's irrelevant. But going through the obstacle course, it was no comparison, the speed and strength that the guy had versus the girl. I'm not saying the girl was bad. I'm saying compared to the guy, there was no comparison going through this course. She was not even in the same class, in the same league as him. Look at it, even professional levels. And I read this stat yesterday. The women's 100-meter dash, the world record has stood since either the late 80s or the late 90s by Flojo, Florence Griffiths Joyner. If you understand, if you know track and field, you know who that is. If you don't, again, irrelevant. It was, I think it's 10.49, the women's world record for the 100-meter dash, 10.49 seconds. That has stood for 30, 40 years. No woman on the planet has beat it. High school, I think they said every state boys high school track champion this year has beat that mark. High school boys, high school, these are not professionals. High school boys have beat that mark. So you tell me, biologically speaking, how can a woman compete with a guy in that? They can't. Biologically speaking or physically speaking, they cannot compete. Okay, let's see. Sitting the block tank, the think tank, the think tank, the block drunk tank. So closing out the whole side of the block. Dunk tank, food, drinks, beer, music. Oh wow, interesting. Gary, yes, amen, absolutely, yes. So physically speaking, athletically speaking, females cannot compete with males. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, just biological fact. It's a biological fact. They can't. Emotionally speaking, a guy can't compete with a woman. They just can't. And Carrie, I'm sure you and Sydney will agree with this. Stupidity speaking, men have that locked down, hand tight, airtight. No question. Stupidity speaking, that's us. We are so far ahead of you ladies when it comes to stupidity. Us guys take the cake on that one. I'm sure you guys will agree with that. Absolutely. So you see, there's give and take with everything. There's give and there's take. You got to go from what you know. You got to go from how you want to do it. Okay, yeah. Simple as that. All right. So okay, take that off of there. All right. Okay, come back over here. So what did we cover tonight? We covered a bunch. We talked about golf. If you didn't hear that at the beginning, too bad. We talked about Sydney. Guys are good at math. We are good at everything else. All right, Sydney. I'll put this one up so everybody can see this. Sydney says, guys are good at math. We are good at everything else. Okay. Carrie Ann laughing, Sydney laughing. Okay. Yes. So would you ladies, since I have a couple of ladies on here, do you, when you go out with your man, go out on a date, when you were dating, Sydney, I know you're married now, but when you were dating, did you want to plan your dates? Did you want to be the person responsible for everything? Or did you just want to be picked up and let's go wherever you want to take me type thing? I don't know how the modern woman is nowadays, what they want. I am still on the old fashioned side of things. I am holding the door for you. And Carrie Ann and finding cars. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I will admit I am not the best at finding cars. And I say that because I compare myself to my brother-in-law, who was an absolute phenomenal expert in finding cars. He's also a mechanic. He used to own his own mechanic shop and everything else. So if I compare myself to him, there's no way I'm going to match him. But compare myself to others, yeah, I can hold my own on that aspect of things. Absolutely. Sydney, she needs to know beforehand. She's a planner. Wow. Again, you and I couldn't go out. I'm sorry, Sydney. It's not going to work out between you and I. We don't like the same movies. If you got to plan everything, and it's not going to happen because I'm Mr. Spontaneous. I will say if we're driving somewhere, I said let's turn down this way. If you got to plan stuff out, it ain't gonna happen. So, which reminds me, Carrie Ann, we need to go out for coffee or drinks or something sometime. I'm publicly saying that here. We've never spoken outside of messaging back and forth, but we need to hook up sometime and just go from there. If you're spontaneous like myself, great. And I'll tell you some of the things that I have done in the past. Speaking of spontaneous, when I lived in Florida, the girl I was seeing there, her and I used to go out on what we call Sunday drives. We would just pick a direction and go. Sometimes we would get at the time, Subway sandwich had foot-long Subways for $5, and we get two, and like have picnics. Just put them in the car and have picnics as we go someplace. And we just pick a direction and we would go. One time we were about 20 miles outside of where we lived, outside of Inglewood, and heading toward the inner part of Florida, the inner, not toward the water, but away from the water. Okay, toward the inside of Florida. Went off of the highway, started going, taking lefts and rights and lefts, just through different roads. Found a huge watermelon farm. Watermelon patches, a huge orange orchard, which is not uncommon in Florida. You're going to find those. And as we're going through, we come up to this one road, and we and now remember, we take a left to go into this road. Excuse me, take a right to go into this road. And there's trees, everything on both sides. I mean, it was a spooky road. Take a left to go in there. We went about maybe 100 yards, and the road stops because there's a great big iron gate. We're not talking like a chain link fence. We're talking an iron gate. You know, like the big rich people, the gates open up like that, and then they close, which was with the bars. Huge ass mansion back there, but no one lived there. There's grass growing up on the sidewalk. It's like an old abandoned mansion. It's like a drug house or something, some mansion. I have tried to find this on Google Earth because I know roughly where we were. So I spent hours on Google Earth trying to find this since then. This was 2009, 2010, 2011, something like that. And her and I, we're no longer, of course, dating because she now lives in Philadelphia. I live here, but we're still friends. And every so often, I'll email her, see, hey, how's she doing, blah, blah, blah. Her mom recently passed. And so send my condolences. But a couple of years ago, because I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'm just not remembering this properly. So I messaged her because I was actually teaching at the school at the time, telling the kids. I said, maybe I just I don't remember it properly. So I messaged her. And a day later, she got back to them. She goes, absolutely. She goes, it was the creepiest thing I've ever been involved with. And she went through every detail like I'm telling you guys now. It was just the creepiest thing. And this is right before phones had video. Neither one of our phones had, you could take pictures with it at the time. So phones didn't have video. Some phones had picture taking capabilities. Other ones didn't. Mine did not at the time, neither did hers. So obviously we didn't take any pictures. But it was the creepiest thing. And like I said, this was a huge mansion. It wasn't like a little brick house. This was a mansion with the gates and like a big circular driveway type thing, just like you see in the Hollywood movies for drug lord type movies. Exactly like that. We got in our car and backed away. I was waiting. They looked in the rearview mirror, and she's looking all around to see if somebody was coming after us or what. But it was just the creepiest thing. Like I said, I've since went on Google Earth trying to find this thing. I've never been able to find it. It was just weird. It was creepy. Okay. All right, Carrie. All right. Publicly, you said sure. Okay. See, Carrie, love spontaneously. It's the best. You have the best times that way. Ends up making for the best memories. Exactly. Just like I just said. Yeah. I can tell you other stories. I'm not going to get into it about being spontaneous, but I like spontaneity. Is that the right word? Spontaneity? Spontaneity. How do you spell it there? Spontaneity? I thought spontaneity. Spontaneity? Maybe that's it. I didn't study English, even though I kind of sort of speak it sometimes. I didn't study it much. But yeah, having that kind of freedom to do so, which goes back to what I was saying before about guys, single guys should not have dogs either. Just for the fact that when you're being spontaneous, you can just leave for a day and don't have to worry about coming home. If you have an animal at home, you have to come back for the animal. Then people saying, yeah, that's why you should have cats, because cats take care of themselves. No single straight guy should have a cat. They should not. Period. End of story. They just shouldn't. And should I have a dog? Possibly, but then you can't be spontaneous. You can't just up and leave and be gone all day long because you have to take care of the dog. All right. That goes back to that one. Now, if you're the planner type person like Sydney, then yeah, because she has, I don't know, she has a house full of dogs. She calls them her babies. They're her babies. And I don't know what, she has big dogs too, if I recall, Sydney, don't you? Something like that. But see, I didn't say the word so. See, I'm getting away with that. You know, getting away from that. You see? Yeah, see? Yeah. I also like sitting at home doing nothing. I like that. a nice fire. Some of the best times I've had in my life, and most people will agree with this, especially if you live around here. Campfires or not campfires, but bonfires, just people sitting around listening to different things. Sydney, she has 3 kids. She has 3 dogs. They're not kids, they're dogs. Sydney, oh, for crying out loud. I remember a friend of mine getting married. This is probably in the 90s. Probably in the 90s, late 90s. Yeah, it had to be late 90s, mid 90s, something like that. And after the wedding, the bride and groom, of course, went to do their thing. But the rest of us, we came out to my mom and dad's property and we built a bonfire in the back. Not a bonfire, just a small little fire. We had a fire pit. We had that. And 2 or 3 of us pulled our cars around. And there was a show that used to come on, a radio program used to come on like at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And they'd go all night, but halfway, it's like a 5 or 6 hour program. And halfway they would repeat the show. It was called Solid Gold Saturday Night. Don't know if they still run it or not, but they would play all music from the 50s and 60s and early 70s at the time. This was again in the early mid 90s, something like that, late 90s, sometime that we were doing this. And it was Solid Gold Saturday Night. So we had coolers, we had beers, we had a fire going, and we had a couple of vehicles playing that in the background, that music in the background. And if a song came on that we all knew, we'd all sit around singing to it. I mean, not singing like the top of our lungs singing, but, we'd all be singing to it and have a good time. And people would walk around talking with each other as we get little groups here, little groups there. And it was just a ball, that kind of stuff. Nowadays, people will be on their phones the whole time doing it, because I've been to fires and campfires or bonfires, whatever you want to call it, where people are sitting around just on their phones the whole time. Again, if you got to be on your phone and I'm there, I'll walk away from you. It's just that. And I'm not going to get into that anymore. Holy moly. I've been yapping for an hour and a half. You guys know that? Yapping for an hour and a half. I still got this much to drink, but I probably won't drink it because that's what I got on that. That's what I have on here. This is stuff that you're not going to find at any store. The beverage that I have. This is homemade. I'm not going to say who made it. I know who made it. I know how it was made, and I know where it was made. We'll just leave it at that. All right, Sydney. Okay. Sydney, I got to call Shirley. I miss her speaking on personal experiences. Okay. LBVS. I don't know what that stands for. It's an acronym, of course. LBVS. Sydney, you got to tell me, what does LBVS stand for? If anybody watching this from another platform, there you go. LBVS. Laughing, but very serious. Okay. LBVS stands for laughing, but very serious. You wacky kids with your acronyms. And you wacky kids, I tell you what. Yeah. Hey, here's a fun fact that you guys didn't know. Sydney and I share the same birthday, February 20th. So there you go. I'm always going to remember that, Sydney. I'm going to be 95 years old at an old nursing home. Oh, I remember that, Sydney. Yeah, she has the same birthday as I do. Yeah. But you're like 25 years old or something like that. I'm a few years older than you are. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes, don't I? Yes. All right. All right. So give me a subject you guys want me to talk about. I exhausted my 3 topics for tonight and then some. Give me a topic you guys want to talk about, and I will do it. I wonder if I turn this off here, how does that ambiance look there? A little bit, turn that light off. And if you guys, let me tell you a little bit about live streaming and podcasting. To do it properly, and I'm just going to hit on a couple of the things. You should have a decent microphone. It doesn't have to be expensive microphone. For less than $50, I can hook you up with some equipment, and you're going to sound phenomenal in it. JMac can do the same thing, I'm sure. This microphone cost me $15. Let's say 20 with tax. It can plug into what they call an audio interface. And the one I have cost me $100. The audio interface, way overkill for what I needed it for. I was silly when I bought it. It's a great audio interface, and I'm sure I sound halfway decent. I will match my sound quality and my setup against 90% of the people, against anybody out there. And I bet I'm better than 90% of them. It's not a bragging thing. It's just a trial and error thing. Over there in my room, just over there, I have a little sound booth. I call it a hobo fort, where I do voiceover work at the lower end of things. That is not a soundproof room, but it's a sound deadening room where sound doesn't bounce off the walls, because that's what sound does. Windows are bad for podcasts and bad for live streams. Unfortunately, I'm in a room where it has 12 windows. So my little sound studio over there, it does not bounce off the walls, and it's a very, very crisp and clean sound into it. Okay. Lighting wise, I have two lights, one over here and one over here. This is my primary light. This is called the key light. This is called a filler light, the one I just turned off. I just have two lights. Sometimes you have a light behind you, which is what they call backlight, which I do not have at this point. I do have different cameras. Watch this, watch this, watch this, if I can do it or not. Where's my camera settings here? Camera settings, camera settings. Here we go. Watch this. You guys are going to freak out at this one. You're going to see my messy desk. There you go. I have this camera set up. Hello. It's behind me. It's up there, and you're looking down. This is what I see. I have a two monitor system, and this is my desk over here. You can't see the lights, but I have one light there, the key light, and I have one light over there. As you can tell, this camera isn't as good as the one I'm broadcasting from. I also have, this camera over here. This is my old camera. This is my setup over here. I don't have it adjusted right now because I got a new computer a few weeks ago, so I don't have it fully adjusted of how it needs to go with this computer. So the lighting and the coloring is off a little bit. Okay. There, I just said okay. And then I go back to my regular camera, which is right here. This is an Elgato face cam. I got it on sale for about $70. I think it does a very good job for what I need it to do compared to other folks. So again, what's this here? All right, somebody else is on another platform who wants me to broadcast a website, which I'm not. Okay, Matt, let me read this here. See, how to start off YouTube successfully without cheating, like buying subscribers. That's why I backed out doing my channel. I was going to start until someone told me that. Then I was like, what is the point? Being real doesn't get anywhere, and I refuse to be fake. Okay, I get you, Matt. I understand exactly what you're saying there. YouTube is a tough nut to crack. Here's the deal with YouTube. My experience. Now, I have also watched literally, I shouldn't say literally, I have watched hundreds of videos by the experts on YouTube about how to grow a YouTube channel. I've hired consultants in the past to analyze my channel to find out why it wasn't growing. This is my Top Fitness Strategies channel on YouTube. I've hired multiple analysts, and no, not the ones from Pakistan and India who says that they can get you a gazillion followers and blah, 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 blah. These are actual US-based consultants who did not have a vested interest in my success. It was a payment I paid them to analyze everything. So it wasn't one of these, well, if your channel grows, I get paid more type thing. It was a one-time payment. Let's analyze, see what's going on, and go for it. Now, according to them, they have done other channels, blah, 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 blah. You know how it works. I'm the greatest in the world. I can do what I do. I do what I do, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Every single one of them, without fail, every single one of the consultants that I hired, again, multiple consultants, also people who I network with who are YouTube strategists, came and looked at it for no charge as well. So I have all gamuts. They had zero to gain off of it and zero to lose off of it. Just being upfront, precise. We're business partners or in the same business ventures. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Every single one of them, when they analyzed my channel, everything looked good. I had the right keywords. I was doing the videos properly. I was doing everything by the book, by the textbook book, by the YouTube textbook book. Every single one of them said that. Without fail, every single one of them said that. They just could not understand why the channel was not growing, which led me to believe, and yes, I have a strong belief on this one, that it's not, your channel doesn't grow by the way it's set up. It grows by what Matt was saying, authentic, being authentic, which you cannot get more authentic than my channels. You can't, as you guys can see from this. You can't be more authentic. I do the same thing with my fitness channel, with my health and fitness channel. I'm extremely authentic. The only thing I can come up with is I don't have that James Bond coming out of the ocean with a Speedo type body, and then I don't take off my shirt and show it off on there. So that's the only thing I can figure. Somebody also told me, who I did not hire, somebody else told me, you're just not an attractive girl in a swimsuit. You can't build your channel that way, your fitness channel that way. I get what they were saying, but there's a lot of other channels who have built their channels up. I just don't know why mine hasn't grown. So I'm not here to complain about it. Just part of the deal. Being authentic is the way to go. I agree with that, Matt. What you were saying, being authentic is the way to grow on YouTube, but there's a lot more to it than that. Some people say it's your thumbnails. Okay. I did all the stuff for the thumbnails as well. Didn't happen. I know somebody who, like me, beyond me, hired consultants, took classes, paid for classes, did all kinds of things, followed the script, the YouTube script to a T, didn't grow. And this guy is actually also a nationally syndicated radio personality, the Lex and Terry show. Terry James, who I will have on this show one of these days. He's saying the same thing I did. After all this time of doing that, he said, no, screw it. I'm just going to do it my own way. Now, he has literally millions of followers, He has millions of followers on his radio show. He does not promote his YouTube channel on his radio show. His YouTube channel has a little over 1,000 subscribers. And the last I checked, mine, I've been doing this for a long, long, long time. I have 370, 374, I think it is, something like that. Yeah, Matt, clickbaiting is another thing where your title says one thing, but your content is something else. There's a fine line between clickbaiting and doing something. Yeah, I mean, Matt, you're talking to I don't want to say I'm a professional, but after close to 700 YouTube videos, kind of know what I'm doing with the video thing of making the videos, marketing the videos, haven't a clue. Haven't a clue. And J Mac will tell you the same thing. Being on this side of the microphone, at first, it is a scary thing. At first, it is. And by the way, I'm pouring a little bit more in here. In here, being on this side of the microphone is a scary thing at first, but now, and you guys who have been with me for a while know I've been on for over an hour and a half, just chit chatting. There are things you need to do on this side of the microphone to keep people's interest. And it's not always subject related. I'm not going to get into it because it will bore the hell out of you. It will. You learn by trial and error. J-Mac, if you're still out there, you know it takes a while to be comfortable on this side of the microphone. It does. But once you're comfortable on this side of the microphone, you can go on practically any show out there and hold your own, whether in any subject. Now, that being said, it just popped in my head, and I looked at this earlier today. There is a channel on YouTube called, and I'll plug it because I like the channel. It's called The Raging Tomato. This lady has it dialed in. She understands how to market, how to network, how to make money on YouTube. She's got it dialed in. I'll applaud her for that. She has panel discussions, which I'm still trying to figure out how I can get panel discussions. And I'm not going to get into how she makes money, but she talks about a lot of it is politically based. A lot of it is. And she opens it up to new viewers and people who want to come in. So I did it a couple of times. I went on there, and Andy, what's the topic, Andrew? Andy, I've been talking all kinds of stuff. Andy, if thanks for joining us, but we've been talking about all kinds of stuff here. Yeah, J-Mac, I will in just a second. Hold on, buddy. But anyway, the Raging Tomato. So I was on one night, their panel discussion. I wasn't saying a word, and I got kicked off into the back room. And I said, hey, why am I getting kicked off? I'm not talking. She goes, that's why, because you're not talking. I said, bring me back. I'll talk. So they're talking about politics. One guy was on the opposite side of me, and she put us on one-on-one debating. This dude had all the facts. I shouldn't say facts. He had all kinds of figures. I don't know if they were facts or not. I am doubtful that they were actually facts, but he had everything at his fingertips, throwing out numbers, throwing out stats, blah, 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 blah. And I said, dude, I'm just using common sense here. Blah, 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 blah. But he ate my lunch. He literally ate my lunch in terms of knowledge of the subject, in terms of me being able to converse with him and keep going and talking with him. No comparison, no contest. I was so far above him on that aspect. And it's not a bragging thing. It's because I'm comfortable on this side of the microphone. There's certain things you need to do on this side of the microphone to understand how it works. And they're not things that can be taught. It's things that can be I guess learned. I tell you what, let me, I'll bring J-Mac on here. Let me get this. All right, J-Mac. I'm gonna bring another expert on here. Expert, listen to us. Let's see, J-Mac, dang it, Bradley. There you are. Okay, dude. Whoop. How come it didn't show? Okay. Why didn't? Okay, I copy it. Okay. All right, here we go. You guys are in for a treat now. Okay, so here we go. My buddy J-Mac's going to come on here. And Matt Nolan, politics to ruin anything. I would never bring that into an audience. They most of the time don't want this. Depends on the show, Matt. If you're on a political show, that's what they want. And the show I went on was a political show. So all depends on the audience, my friend. All depends on the audience. And if it's a political show, of course, that's what they want. And ones who don't want it, like this show, I try to keep politics out of it unless I'm asked about it, and I will talk about it. I don't get into a lot of deep discussions. Again, I'm more of the common sense realm on the political side of things. Whether you agree with me or not, it's irrelevant. I'm just telling you, I'm on the common sense side of things. But going back to how to present yourself on this side, storytelling is an art form. Excuse me. And you have to couple that, and I'm giving you guys broad strokes here. This is like the 20,000-foot view looking down. There's a lot more intricate detail that is, you just have to learn. And again, I'm not saying I'm the best at this, but I'm pretty much, I can hold my own. I have that much confidence in myself that I can hold my own with this. You have to couple storytelling with playing to the lowest common denominator. That is okay, here we go. Jay Mack, my buddy, what's going on, my friend?
Hello. How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. He's from Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc Wrestling Unscripted. Now, before everyone says wrestling, no, we're not talking wrestling. We're not going to talk wrestling.
No.
That's his show that he's on. So, but that's how him and I are both wrestling fans. So I'm part of his show sometimes, and so that's how we got on. But we're talking right now not microphone etiquette, but how to be on this side of the microphone is what we're going to discuss.
Well, you were talking about that, and man, so many thoughts were going through my head because I was like, it's not just, plug in the microphone, plug in the power, you start up the computer and just, hit record and do your thing. There are so many more aspects to this that I didn't even realize.
That's right.
And
hey, by the way, we did not send a memo about matching shirts.
Oh, I know it. I just now realized that. I know it. But yeah, it's like so many things because one big important thing is you have to first find your niche. What is it you are going to be about, and you have to stick with that because there is an audience for just about everything out there.
Yeah.
And you just have to find out which audience you're going to go after. What are you knowledgeable about, so on and so forth. But that's just one thing. Then you've got to figure out your voice, how you're going to present that. You got to figure out how you're going to do, me. Take me, for instance. I'm on your show. I'm wearing a fedora. I do my show. I wear a cowboy hat. This is the relaxed look. But it's, you just do different things and everything, and it's how you market yourself because you have to find your own niche and how you're doing it. And and it just goes to what you were saying. It's so much more on and I don't mean that as a jab towards anybody, but it's the persistence. I'm not even joking. Like, and again, we're not here to talk wrestling, but just talking about my show.
Right.
We just in 6 months on Facebook, having a Facebook page, we hit 1,000 followers. Now I know some people may say, well, that's not very much and everything, and it probably ain't to some. But 1,000 followers in 6 months, I was hustling for about 2,000 people a month.
Mm-hmm.
Close to it, maybe a little bit under because of 12 months, but you know what I'm saying? There was a good chunk that I was hustling to get people in here to look and everything, whether they watch every day or not. It's just the persistence. You have to be persistent. It's so much like you were talking. Sorry.
No, but you're right. Yeah, the persistence and now you're talking marketing, which is a whole different ball game behind it. I'm talking just being comfortable on this side of the microphone.
Oh yeah,
like you were saying, it's more than just getting a microphone and talking. It is, but when you start, That's what it's about.
Mhm.
And get a microphone and you talk. You just got to start. If you're waiting for the perfect scenario, it ain't going to happen.
Mhm.
You just got to start. Your niche will eventually come out.
Yes.
And like J Mac, he is into wrestling, the professional wrestling niche. From when he started to where he is now, I am sure this has curved several times.
Oh
The
yeah.
niche has been closed or narrowed quite a bit from when you started.
Well,
Now you
it's
have,
totally flipped.
yeah,
The
you
whole
have
concept of
guests.
the show.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have guests who are professional wrestlers and not just big time, which most people heard of. These are what's called indie wrestlers and the
Right.
independent wrestlers from the indie circuits. Which, once again, we're not going to get into wrestling. We're talking
Right. Right.
more of the
Right.
how to and everything else. So
Right.
you have guests which are easy to contact, but I don't want to say hard, but difficult. It's timing wise, it's difficult for everyone to get on the same page. So yeah, you
Yes.
can reach out to 1,000 people and you'll get 900 say, yeah, I want to be on your show. But of those 900, if you can get 20 of them to come on your show at the time you're doing your show,
That's a
you're
good
doing
month.
great.
That's a good month. That's a good couple months.
That's a
I'm
good couple
telling
months right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You've booked up for a couple months right there. But see, and that's the thing too, because when we first started, we planned on coming on and just having three people do a little, recap of what the week's, like a news recap of what the week's worth of wrestling news was,
Yep.
big
Yep.
stories, stuff like that. And we were also going to do a profile show where we profiled a professional wrestler and talked about them, sometimes brought, we're trying to work on bringing members of their families in and everything
Mm-hmm.
to talk about them or them themselves and everything. And that's what we do. Like you said, we have
Yep.
wrestlers on to talk about their careers.
Yep.
But like, it wasn't supposed to be that. It was just supposed to be a profile show and then
Mm-hmm.
a news show. And it was like, it was just supposed to be us three talking. Wasn't supposed to be no guests or
Yep.
anything like that.
Yep.
Next thing you know, boom, that's pretty much all we do now is have guests and do,
Yep.
wild times. But it's just like you said, it curves.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to bend with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Embrace it.
Let's bring it back to not so much the subject matter
Right.
of our shows, but the production matter of our shows. That's what
Okay.
I want to talk about here. Okay. So as you can, and maybe you guys can't tell, I can because I have the headphones on and because I do some voiceover work, I'm more in tune to this than the average person. And that's not a bragging thing. It's just part of the nature. Think
Right.
about whoever's watching this right now, whoever listening to this, whatever you do for a living, you're more in tune to understand that whatever you do versus the average person who doesn't do it. Okay. I am more in tune to hearing quality or crispness, not so much quality, but crispness on a microphone than most people because of one, the headphones, and two, what I do. J Mac's microphone, I don't even know what kind of microphone he has. All
It's
right.
called a fee find.
Okay. I know. So now I know exactly which one you have. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. You sound extremely crisp on this microphone.
I
He
love this
has,
microphone.
you love this microphone, of course. Now, I'm going to venture you probably paid $70 for that microphone, give or take
It
a few
was
dollars.
right at that. I
Yeah.
think, honestly and truthfully, I think the original price was that, but we caught it on Amazon
Yeah.
on like a
Okay.
deal and everything. Got it for like 40 is what
Yeah.
I believe happened.
Now, is this microphone just plugged straight into your computer, or do you have it going to someplace else?
It has two separate. Hold on, I'll get a little close up here for you.
Okay, because microphones come in two different ways. So, okay, yeah,
There's
you
the
have a USB. You have
and
a USB and a XLR.
yes,
You have
sir.
yeah. So you have it plugged right
I
into
always
your
forget the name of that XLR. I know
XLR.
what
So
it is. I just forget.
you have it plugged straight into your computer. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mine is, and I don't have it here. I can't put it up. Oh, maybe
You're
I
using
can.
XLR, right?
Yeah, this thing right here is called an XLR
Yeah, yeah,
cable.
I've got those cables because I do a lot. I've got a mixing board where I do some recording of
Yeah.
some music and stuff
Now,
too.
and I just screwed it up because if I do that, now it's going to go down. So I just
I
screwed
know
it
it.
up. So
I do that all the time. But see, yeah, I use an XLR whenever I'm
hold on,
doing.
folks. This is a professional here. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home.
But I do a lot of that. I use an XLR whenever I unplug from the computer and whenever I plug into my mixing board where I record a little bit of music and everything. I
Hmm.
don't know if you know it, but I sing a little bit and everything. But yeah, I'm kind of putting
Wow.
together trying to put together what I'm going to try to release as a little bitty album or something on
Good. I'd love
Spotify
to
and
hear. We
stuff.
can. I'll have you on when you when you release it and everything else. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So your microphone plugs right into your computer. My microphone, because it's XLR, has to go to another box. It's called an
Yeah.
audio interface, or it could be a mixer,
Yeah.
just
I
like you
got
see
one.
on mixers everywhere. And
Yeah.
from that mixer, it goes into the computer,
Mhm.
and the sound goes into the computer. Then it comes to what the platform I'm currently using to
Yes.
broadcast to everybody is called StreamYard. All
Yes.
right, and JMac uses this platform as well. There's other ones out there. Zoom is another platform. Google Meets is a platform, but they don't broadcast out to the social media platforms.
And I will
Restream is
warn
another
you.
one.
Yes.
I can't think of it, but there's several of
Shop.
them out there.
Whatever you do, shop, because I'm telling you right now, you got to find the right platform for what you want to use too. See,
Right.
that's another aspect of the production. There's some platforms that you're not going to be able to use that are going to work well for yours. StreamYard seems to be the most commonly used because it's the most commonly easily accessible and interfaced and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a few others like I can't remember, River something.
Riverside's a good one.
Riverside, yeah, Riverside's used a lot and everything. I
Now
hear a lot about.
Rumble has their own live streaming platform as well.
Yes,
Now you can also live stream on Facebook, just to Facebook.
and you
But
can do
what's
it. You can do it through YouTube too.
you can do it through
You
YouTube too. Yeah.
Spotify,
Yeah,
YouTube.
all those others, but the issue with that, or the I don't want to say the problem, but you're limited because those platforms just stream to their platform. Like YouTube
Yes,
only streams
yes.
to YouTube, Facebook only streams to Facebook, Instagram only streams to Instagram. With
Mhm.
StreamYard, I can stream to all three of them, yeah, all of them together. Now I'm they is it a monthly uh, uh, um, payment? Yeah, or a yearly payment, depends on how you did it.
We
I
did it for a
happen,
year.
yeah, we just lost 90% of our audience. Huh, look at that. Wow, that's funny. All right, sorry, folks. Yeah, we were talking technical stuff. Sorry, yeah,
Uh,
but let me answer a question here, Matt. What is the proper microphone for outdoors during live streams? I can't answer that. I don't do outdoor stuff. Most people that I've talked to that do this, they have a microphone. What is it
well,
called?
let's
I
look
think it's
that up.
I think it's a Rode microphone. It's a little
Rode
bitty one,
microphone is good. I
but it's
use a
expensive. It's
I use
expensive
a
for outdoors.
it is. I use well crap. I use a lavalier
Yep.
lapel mic from
Yeah, a little lapel mic. That's
Walmart.
that's basically
Yeah.
it connects to your collar. It's a lavalier microphone. Okay. The issue with being outdoors, it's very tricky because you have to have what's called a windscreen. This is a windscreen on the microphone. This is a windscreen. Here's another windscreen. These are windscreens that go on the microphone because you don't want the wind noise coming through the microphone. So if you have some sort of foam or something around the microphone that blocks the wind from hitting the microphone itself, you don't want that sound. You just want your voice going into the microphone. Being outdoors, you have to be very conscious of that. A lot of people I've talked to that do outdoor stuff use their cell phone, which is fine. Cell phones, the advancements in cell phones, especially with microphones, has skyrocketed in the last couple of years. So if you're going to be doing outdoor stuff until you get your sea legs going, so to speak, until you understand what you're doing, your cell phone will be plenty. Will be plenty good for what you need for outdoor stuff.
I looked it up whenever you asked the question just to see what the best one. The Google search said was the best one on the market, It says I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Sennheiser
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah.
Sennheiser MKH 416 Pro shotgun mic, or the DJI Mic 2 Rode Wireless Pro wireless lavalier kit. Our top choice is crucially stopping wind requires a fuzzy artifact fur cover, called a dead cat, because no microphone blocks heavy wind on its own. But it also says that
Yep.
other kinds are the wireless lavalier microphone
Yep.
from Walmart, and that's the one that I bought. So there you go. It just confirms this one's a good one. So just go out there and pay you $20 for one at Walmart. You'll be good.
Because the other one you talked about, this the Sennheiser. I
Yeah,
can't say the word.
they're expensive.
You're talking $400 or $500 for that microphone, at
Yes.
least.
Yes.
Yeah, at least. And a lot of professional voiceover artists used those in studio microphones, and they get up to the thousands of dollars.
Well,
Okay.
just to let you know, too, they've got Fifine M9 dual wireless lavalier microphones for $57.99 at Walmart.
There you go.
And that's the same brand as my phone or my microphone here. And I mean, it works fine.
Yep.
And these look like pretty good little mics and everything. So I mean, just shop around. You
Yeah.
really just got to shop around and find what's best for you, because what works for you may not work for me. Because like he was talking about with sound and everything, like and see, it's cool that you were talking about that and technical issues and stuff and everything, because we had to postpone a show Friday for technical issues because Uncle Slam's audio, he couldn't hear a word anybody was saying. So we had to fix, we ended up having to postpone and everything until earlier this evening. But, and by the way, thank you for having me on here too.
You're welcome.
Andrew. Forgot to do that whenever I first came in. But another thing, you were talking about too is, where was we going with that? The Rode microphones.
You're talking about your microphone.
You were talking about
technical
doing
issues.
sound. You're right. We had the technical issues. That's one aspect, like we were talking about with production. But you were talking about with the sound and everything, to be on the opposite end of that. I'm legally deaf.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yes, I've had 15 ear surgeries.
Oh wow. So what do you use? Do you have earphones or earbuds in? What do you use to hear me?
I have headphones in right now.
Do you really? Because I don't see any headphones.
Here's the wire to them.
Oh, you have those. Okay.
My beard, and all they are is.
Oh, you have the earbuds. Yeah. Okay.
I just wrap them around my ear to where you can't see it, and then I have my glasses on and everything, and they go straight into my ears.
Yep.
But my right ear, I have had reconstructed inside 3 times. I've had mastoiditis, and they've had to go in and reconstruct the small bones and stuff like that. So, and not looking for sympathy on that. I was just saying, I have the other side of it. I have a hard time hearing and hearing different tones. How I'm able to sing a little bit, I have no idea, because I can't tell you what note I'm singing in. I just hear it and mimic.
So let me ask you this, because now I'm really curious. Why don't you use headphones like the ones I have? Why do you use the earbuds?
I don't like big bulky things on my head. I mean, as a
fair enough.
My hat. But
fair enough. And here's why I asked, because if you go back to some of my past interviews I've done, I've had the earbuds as well. I don't like them because I don't get the full grasp of what the sound quality for somebody else is. So that's why I use
everything.
These. I heard everything. I just didn't like the sound quality of it. For me, I just like the quality of the headphones more. So, which is another thing, folks, for the ones, Matt, especially for you, if you're still watching right now, use what you like, what you're comfortable with. J-Mac uses the earbuds. I'm not comfortable with them. I like these.
Yes.
He's not comfortable with these. He's comfortable with the earbuds. It doesn't take away from your show. Use what you're comfortable with. Because if you start using stuff you're not comfortable with, all of a sudden that's going to be a distraction, and you're not going to focus on what you need to do for your show. Is that making sense how I'm saying that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And as you can tell, there is no difference in. I just heard I just heard an echo as I said that. It's funny.
I did too.
Where'd
Is
that come
everything
from?
okay?
Yeah, everything's okay on my side. I haven't changed anything. But
Okay.
there's no difference on sound quality or anything else. We just these are just what we use to hear each other. Okay? Because
Somebody
if
came
you're
back.
and now I'm going to get real technical here. It's something called mix minus when you use a mixer. If your mixer doesn't have a mix minus on it, don't get it if you're going to have guests. I have another mixer that doesn't have mix minus, and I'm not going to get into what that is, but it's horrible. And I've used that in the past when I had 2 or 3 guests, and it was just horrible. So you have yours plugged right into your computer. You don't have that issue. Mine plugs into an audio interface, my microphone, and I have that issue, but my microphone has a quality called mix minus where it doesn't broadcast it. So it's a whole different thing. Now I'm getting way too technical away from what we're talking
Can
about.
can I say something to one
Yeah.
of Matt's comments?
Yeah.
He said, he said, thanks guys. He said, I'll give it another thought. I've been wanting to start a channel, man. If I can give you any advice, start slow. Don't go out and buy a bunch of equipment
Exactly.
at first.
Use what you got.
Here's my advice. You have, just like he said, use what you got. You got a guy sitting right there that you know. Come on his podcast a couple of times. Get yourself acquainted to how a podcast works. You know what I'm saying? And then you can watch other podcasts, which I'm sure you have and everything. But you now know a couple of people and everything. Man, you can always reach out to me and everything if you ever got any questions, just like Andrew and everything. I'm always willing to help. It's like I tell people, it's the internet, and there's billions of people on this planet. There is enough pie for everybody to have a slice.
Yep. Here's the thing
There's
with
no sense
starting
in
your own
competing
podcast,
against each other.
which if you're going to do it, Matt, I highly encourage you just to start it and do it.
Yeah.
And here's what you're going to learn on the podcast. And this is what I really want to get into. We've all done it. You start a podcast, you start talking, do a live stream, what have you. And in your mind, you understand what you're saying and you think that everybody else understands it. They don't. So I coined this phrase a long time ago when I was doing training. You talk to the what I call the lowest common denominator person in the room, the person who does not understand what you're doing. You talk to them. So you have to explain everything. There's no inside jokes. There's no everyone understands what I'm talking about. No, if you have to explain something to the lowest level, do it in a quick fashion so everyone can come up to speed. The person that is extremely knowledgeable doesn't care if you talk to the lowest knowledgeable guy in the room because eventually they're going to be level. But don't base your whole talk on this. So, for instance, if you're going to say a joke, you say the punchline before you say the joke because you think everybody knows the joke. No, you got to say the whole joke. If that's making sense. So it's like when we've all heard people called radio stations who talk and you don't know what they're talking about because in their mind everyone is already understanding what they're saying. They just don't know that. So my thing to you is always think about the person who doesn't understand everything you're saying. Get them up to speed a little bit. Like when I was talking about my golf stories earlier, I was trying to explain what the first 9 holes were in the golf course versus the second 9 holes in the golf course. One is called the front 9, one's called the back 9. If I just come on here and saying, yeah, I was playing the front 9 at the golf course and I had a par 3, blah, 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 and you didn't know anything about golf, you'd be totally lost. But all of a sudden I said the first 9 holes of a golf course are called the front 9. And the powers that be who made the golf course to say, okay, it should take you 3 strokes or 3 hits of the golf club to get the ball into the hole. That's called a par 3. Now you're up to speed. Then they can go on. Does that make sense how I'm explaining this?
I think so.
You think so? Apparently not. Okay.
Well, no. I mean, to me it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But of course he's new. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was going to say is, you like he said, sit down, get you a piece of paper, kind of outline what it is you're going to do. What's your show going to be about? How are you going to present it? How are you going to present you? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to present you as a character, or are you going to just present you as you? You know,
Mm-hmm.
the legend J Mac is not me in person, you know, and not at all, but that's who I play on the show. So that's who I appear as, you know, but you have to decide all these little details. But once you get all that outlined out and you figure out what that is, just jump. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you don't, you'll never do it. If you hesitate, um, is it okay to cuss?
Sure.
Okay.
And
I heard an
that's another
old,
thing. Ask before you start cussing on somebody's show. Ask, like he just
yes,
said.
but,
Ask.
yes, politeness. Always have the utmost respect. You
Yep.
can tell
Yep.
somebody off, but you have to do it respectfully.
Yes.
But, but, but I heard a saying a long time ago, and I've always stuck by it, and it says, "Hesitation is the mother of all fuck ups."
Yep. Yep.
If you hesitate when you really want to do something, you're never going to do it.
Yep. Yep.
Just do it, like he said.
And
Just do it.
and
Figure it out and do it.
here's another thing, Matt, and I'm sure J Mac, and you don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say, but you're going to agree with this one, Matt. You will fuck up.
Yeah.
You will make mistakes.
Mhm.
You will make them every time you talk on a microphone. You will make them.
Yep.
Guess what? Get over it. Move on. I've made
It's
1,000 mistakes tonight. If you've been watching or listening,
the
J Mac
biggest thing.
had a show earlier tonight. I guarantee he made mistakes during that show.
Yeah. But here's the biggest thing. You make a mistake. No, you didn't.
Yep. Move on.
What? There was a mistake made. No, there wasn't. So what did you think about? You just got to keep it going. Don't let it hesitate, because then it just messes up the momentum of whatever your show is.
And here's the beauty of doing this stuff online. J Mac just said, move on. I acknowledge my mistakes. I'm like, oh, I messed up. Sorry. And then
Well, right. You
didn't
can
go on.
acknowledge
Yeah.
it like that, but you
Yeah.
don't dwell on it.
No,
Okay.
do not dwell on it. No, you make
Because it's
mistakes. So
easy.
what?
It's
Yeah.
easy to make a mistake and then sit there and just get deer in the headlights looking at the camera.
Mhm.
Like, what do I do now? No, it's not what do I do now. The show still goes on. What was the subject? Let's go.
Yep.
Okay. Oops. Well, I messed up. Yeah. Well, anyways, but back to what we were talking about. So if
Yeah. There's
segue, use it.
segues. I can't even spell segue. I have the most horrible segues, which I'm proud of. My show. And dead air. Dead air is when there's total silence going on. In the radio business, that is taboo.
Yes.
In live streaming, it's okay to an extent. I mean, you don't want to be on, you don't want to have no sound for 20, 30 seconds. Of course not. 3 to 5 seconds, it's okay.
You better
Because
get you some
people looking
elevator
at you.
music on the side just in case.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
No, you're right. But then you have to have a platform that will do it. It's a whole different ball
Right.
game. No. Right
Yeah,
now we're just
don't
talking.
go. And that's what we were saying. Don't go out there and spending $150 on this, that, and the other. Man, go out to Walmart, buy you a little microphone setup. But I definitely recommend, if you're going to go to Walmart and do that simple one real quick, do the lavalier. Lord, I can't think of the name of it. It's about $14 to $20. I cannot think of the name of that thing to save my life.
That's
It's
if
the
you're
Bauer.
going to.
The
It's a what?
Bauer lavalier lapel mic.
Okay. The
And it's
Bauer
like-
lavalier lapel mark. There you go.
I've seen some of them that sometimes they've been $14, sometimes they've been $20. I paid 20. I know a friend that paid 14. So, go get you one of those. They work good. It just start out slow and do your thing. Figure out what your thing is and do it.
Yeah, Matt says I don't want to be fake. Well, no one wants to be fake. No one wants to be.
No.
Are there fake people out there? Of course there are. All right. And also
Yes.
also depends on your definition of fake. J Mac just said his personality on air is different than his personality off air. Mine is the same, but neither one of us are fake.
Right.
Neither one of us are
And
fake.
that's the thing. I do a wrestling podcast.
Right.
So because of a wrestling podcast, I do that, I keep in character as
Hmm.
wrestlers do. It's called kayfabe.
Right.
But I just that's whenever I go on other shows, I appear as the legend J Mac. Why?
Right.
Because I'm promoting my show everywhere I go because I
Right.
want that to, succeed. But this is Bradley McKee.
Oh my God! Look at that. He was.
Right. It's way different. It's it's a totally different person and everything. But well, I don't want to say a totally different person because like I said, I do a wrestling show and they say that the
Right.
characters are a little bit of an extension of yourselves, just
Hmm.
amped up a little bit. I don't go running around the streets of my hometown yelling, "It's me, it's me, it's at
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
LEGEND."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't do nothing like that, but it's just it's the fun part. You just
Hmm.
amped up and everything. But
And
yeah,
me,
that
I'm the total opposite of you. But what you see on this show is how I am in real life.
right,
And because my show is different than Brad's, and again, neither one of us are fake at what we're doing. It's
right,
just the parts that we're playing. Mine is because I drink and I eat online. I was like, you know what? This is what I do. It's not a specific topic. Now, when I talk about my health and fitness, I stay on that topic and I am the health and fitness guy. All right, the top fitness strategies guys. Am I authentic with that? Yeah, but you can say I'm playing a character. Is J Mac authentic what he's doing there? Of course he is, but he's playing the legend J Mac character, being
right,
authentic for his show.
right.
And I don't know if I'm describing that right, but
Yeah,
in my
makes
mind, it
total
makes
sense.
perfect sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I am playing. I'm playing the character,
Hmm.
on the air. And the character is just an extension of myself. But just like Andrew was saying, he's not his podcast isn't surrounded on a business that is full of AKA characters.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you got to tap
You
into
kidding?
what
Have
your
you watched
audience
my
is.
show when I have you and JD on here? I got plenty of characters on this show.
Right. Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's what you got to find your target and your audience that you're going to go for. If you're doing a cooking show, do you a cooking show.
Hmm.
If you're doing, a hunting show, do a hunting show, barbecue show, do that. But whatever it is, just find what it is and go at it. But the biggest thing I could tell you is honestly, get you a computer, at least a laptop, because it does make it a little bit easier. Invest in you a little $15 ring light at Walmart, man. When you do start building this stuff, you don't have to break the bank to do it either. You can do
Yep.
it,
Yep.
very, very inexpensively. It's not, it's fun, but don't break the bank. I over a year and a half, I've added what I've got here and
Hmm.
there.
Yeah. And I've been doing this for a long, long, long time. My first microphone that I got was probably 10 years, which is still this microphone, by the way. It's 10 years ago. Behringer is a company. This is a microphone. It's a Behringer microphone. It's called an XM 8500. They had something called the podcast or the podcast studio in a box. Come with a
Yep.
microphone, a mixer, and some cheap headphones. And I got that. And the microphone was on a little tripod stand.
Yep.
You plugged it into your. It was a learning curve because they didn't tell you how to put anything together. It was a learning curve, but I did it and plugged it into my laptop, and I was doing it from another room in my house. Little by little, I started adding to it, opening up different things, understanding how the sound works and quality. And I found different companies where I was buying refurbished stuff. My computers, I buy totally refurbished for like 1/3 of the price of a new computer with better quality, in my opinion. The mic, this is like I said, this microphone was, I got a new one sitting in a box still. I haven't used it. It's $20. I can get an audio interface, which this microphone goes into. The one I got is $100. Again, it's overkill. You can get one from Behringer, keep it all together for $30. So for less than $50, without the computer, that is, I can get you set up in a microphone, and it's gonna. If you think my sound quality is good, I can get you just as good, if not better. But it's up to you to to tell me if my sound quality is good. I don't know. How do I sound to you, J Mac?
I've always thought you sound good.
Yeah,
You know.
J Mac, a lot simpler solution with his microphone. He bought a microphone, plugs in his computer, boom, he's done.
Yep.
Mine's a little bit more detailed. I'm not saying one's better than the other
Well,
at all. It's
and
just what
that's
you
the
want to do.
reason why I got this one was because it can do both.
Yep.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And like I said, whenever I'm recording my music, I want the sound quality to be as good as it possibly can be.
Yep. Yep.
And you know, and of course with the podcast, I want it to be as good as it possibly can be, but I also don't have a very big workspace, so I
Yep.
can't have my mixer and stuff out all the time. So I just basically use StreamYard to do all that stuff.
Yep. And you don't need a lot of space.
No, 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 you don't.
Like the room I'm in right now is way too big. I know a lot of people in the voiceover business, do voiceovers like for commercials and stuff on
Uh-huh.
television, who do it in their closet with the clothes all around them because clothes are sound deadening. They literally, their studio is in their clothes closet. I know of people who do this,
Yeah,
and they have professional stuff. They have stuff on TV that they voiced
yeah.
over from their closet. I
Yeah,
know these people.
they got a big enough closet to where they can turn it into a small studio.
And it's not a big closet. They still have clothes in the closet. They
See,
use that. Yeah,
I've
they
seen
use that.
people who do it up in Lexington. They'll rent a two-bedroom. Well, they probably ain't doing it no more with the way rent is, but they would rent two bedrooms and or you know something like that, and the second bedroom they would use the master closet
Mm-hmm.
and that was bigger, and you know they'd fit a small desk in there. I've seen them staple egg crate
Oh
up
yeah,
against up
yeah,
on the wall and everything for soundproofing and everything. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen it. And yeah, it's just little tricks. But can I ask Matt, if you don't mind, what it is that you are, what kind of a channel are you thinking about doing, if you don't mind me
yeah,
asking?
Matt. What are you wanting to do, Matt? Yeah, he says that he couldn't start doing something now in his house. That's why I was asking about doing the outdoors. Okay, all right. And I'm not going to ask why you can't do it in your house. That's totally your business. It's none of our business. If you wanted to do it in your house, that we can, J Mac and I can both give you tips on how to do it.
Oh
I just
yeah,
happen to be in a position where I have a room where I can dedicate to it. So this is called my studio. I call this the studio slash office because I do other stuff here as well.
I have a corner in my bedroom
There you
is
go.
where I work from.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I
And
think in total I've probably spent, not including just in equipment, and not including StreamYard as a piece of equipment, because I definitely think StreamYard has helped a whole lot.
yep,
So it is a piece of equipment. But in just equipment, physical equipment, I probably have spent $300.
yep, yep. Now I just recently got a new computer, and yes, I will plug this company. I use gosh darn it, that is the word just escaped me. Blair Technology out of either Louisville or Lexington, Kentucky, close to you, buddy, close to you, J Mac.
Okay.
And they have refurbished computers. So, and this is my third computer I've purchased from them in the last 10 years. It's everything a brand new computer is. They take an old computer, take out the guts, and put on all new parts in there. And it's like 1/3 of the price of the rate of a new computer you buy at the store. And they come with a 1-year warranty as well. They are a fantastic company. I couldn't ask for better people to deal with. They've been great to me. Like I said, it's my third computer. If you didn't know about computer, my last one I bought was 5 years ago. So when I called him up back in April, I said, "Can you look up your records?" He goes, "Dude, your computer's 5 years old." He says, "It's about due for a new one." And I told him what I did, and he says, "You don't need the top of the line. Here's what you need. Blah 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 blah. If that's what you want, let me know." I thought about it for a while. A month later, I called the guy back. And he says, "Yeah, I still have it here on file." Got the computer, ordered it, came in 2 days later, plugged it in, ready to rock and roll. And I've got it for $300. And this
See,
computer
that's
screams. This thing
I'll have
screams.
I'll have to get the info off of you
Yeah.
So one day, because yeah, I'm definitely going to have to look into a newer computer, and
Yeah.
it's nothing against this computer that I got has been great,
Hmm.
and I'm going to be honest, my story with mine is pretty sweet, and I'm going to shout out my daughter. I won't shout out her name or anything because she's not big on technology and stuff like that. Plus, her husband is a police officer,
Oh,
but
good, of
they're
course.
great kids. I love them to death, and they're the reason I have this computer. I said, "Man, I'm got to look for a computer," and they was like, "Why?" I was like, "I'm gonna start a podcast, so I need at least a laptop." And they were like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "So I said if you don't mind, keep an eye out for one, because my daughter's always on those markets and." Everything, always seeing stuff like that and everything. I'm like, so just keep an eye out if you see anybody or know anybody that's getting rid of a good
Hmm.
one. She was like, okay, yeah, well, I talked to Caleb. Oh, sorry. And he uh, he said, yeah, we'll just give you the one we got. I
Well,
was
there you
like,
go.
no, I was like, you ain't got to do that. I got the money to pay for it. They was like, no, here, just consider it our contribution to the podcast.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I got good kids, man. I can't say
Good.
anything about them. They're really good kids. They got
Good. Good. Good.
I tell people all the time, and this is just my confession, is I know I wasn't the best dad whenever I was a younger man. I wasn't the best husband whenever I was a younger man. But, my kids gave me a second chance. So, and they tell me they're proud of the man I am now. So that's all that
That's
matters for
awesome.
me
Good for you.
is, yeah. And they're great. They're great kids. They're great in spite of me. And that's what makes them greater than me.
Good. 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 Okay.
Yes.
That not to get away from that subject, but
No,
we're
no,
we're
no,
we're,
no,
we're
no.
over
Yeah.
here. You're over there. We're over here. Okay.
Right, right,
So
right. I'm just shouting them
no,
out. They're good kids,
as you
but you,
should, as you should.
yeah, but you need good equipment, but just it don't
Also,
take a lot.
also, Matt, I think you're in the same town I live in. Walmart has TVs, 24-inch TVs for like $60. Dude, get two of them so you can have dual monitors. You will be shocked at how much more productive you are with dual monitors. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need computer monitors because TVs, you get an HDMI cord, boom, you're
Yep.
into TVs and you're good. You don't need computer monitors. Or just get a
Ooh,
big, 36-inch TV and then have half the screen for one monitor, half the screen for the other. That's now you're getting into technology. But I got two monitors or TVs, and that's what I got
that's
was TVs. And
that
they're
stuff is. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no,
I was reading his comment.
yeah. And and get the like I said, go to Blair Technology. I'll give you my contact over there. Mention my name. Absolutely do it. Get the cheap microphones for with the TVs, computers, microphones, and everything. And you might already have the computer microphones. I mean, if you're starting from
Yeah,
scratch for less than $500, less than $400 probably, we can get you set up. $500 for certain, get you set up. That's starting from scratch with zero equipment. If you
well,
already have,
and that's also saying that because he's doing outdoor stuff. So if
yeah,
he's doing outdoor stuff, then all he really needs is a computer and the ability to edit.
yeah, which
Because
you
at the
can
end of the
edit.
day, yeah,
There's a free program called Canva. You can
yeah,
edit video on Audacity if you want to edit audio on. They're
yep.
both free.
I use Audacity for my music.
Yeah, I use Audacity all the time. Yeah.
And he said he's and I was gonna say, Matt, that's a subject that's like really hot right now. Is that murder mystery stuff, history
Hmm.
murder mystery? Because that's what he's talking about doing from like 100+ years ago. Like, are you talking like ghost stories or just the murders of and stuff like that? Like, are you talking more paranormal or non-paranormal and just sticking to like the law and order type the side of it?
And I don't want to discourage you at all from this map, but when you get into that, there's a lot of editing, a lot of
Yes.
storytelling, a lot of um, having people understand what you're talking about. So you got to really talk to the lower level people who have understanding. There is a you're diving into a subject that is fascinating as hell. It is going to be great, but you got to really focus on how you present that, because you just can't tell a story based on what you said. You got to do a little bit of research. You got to be able to tell
Okay.
stories, be a storyteller, and have the facts behind it as well. Now, if you want to give your opinion, make sure you say, this is my opinion only. It's not fact based. It's my opinion only. I say that all the time on my show. But you have to learn how to keep an audience engaged.
S- So you're talking about like almost like a Mr. Ballin type show.
I don't know who that is.
He is, you know, I didn't either until a couple of years ago, and I really like him, to be honest with you, because he's got really good stories that are true stories. There, some are scary, some are murder mystery, but he's got a real subtle voice and stuff and everything. He tells really good stories, stuff like that. And it's really good. You ought to listen, give him a listen and everything. He's just called Mr. Ballin.
Okay. There is also, and Matt, I'm sure you heard of this, and J Mac, I don't know if you have or not, Coast to Coast AM.
Oh, I love Coast to Coast AM.
with was it
Art
was it
Bell.
yeah, but now it's, isn't it Nori? What's his name?
It probably is. I haven't listened in years.
Coast to Coast AM. Fantastic. I remember
Yes,
back in the 90s, I used to listen to it when I'm driving late at night. Oh,
dude.
yeah, absolutely. People call in with the weirdest things. But
Yeah.
even when they didn't, Art Bell at the time, I think it's Matt
Mhm.
Nori or Bill
Uh,
Nori or something like that. I have to look
Something
it up.
like that.
But they would, just like any radio program, you'd have to keep the audience engaged. And
Yes.
Art Bell was phenomenal at that, at keeping the audience engaged. Because I'd be driving, I'd be like at the ends of my seat as I'm driving.
Yep.
Then I go to a commercial. I'm like, no, I don't want a commercial. Keep talking.
Well, I'm telling you right now, my conspiracy mind, that show just, you know, reaffirmed my beliefs in some aspects. I I loved Coast to Coast AM.
Oh,
And
I if I'm driving at night, I still listen to them. If I can find them, I still listen to them. Absolutely, I do. But
I
I don't
forget.
drive at night much.
I don't either, and I forget, you know, that AM is still a thing.
They
Not
used to be
every
on around here. Used to be on an FM station, because I was driving Uber 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and I was driving late at night, and I'd have it in the background. A few a few of my passengers says, "What are we listening to?" So I'd turn it because they want to hear music, blah blah blah. But if they
yeah,
didn't, I'd leave it on there, and it was on an FM station around here.
yeah,
So yeah, Coast to Coast AM. So there you
yeah,
go, Matt. If you don't know what Coast to Coast AM is, find it. You can find it
yeah,
online. Even if you
and
have to
it's got
listen
a
to
little bit of
older
everything.
stories, it's just as good. Yeah.
So so let me ask you this, because you're a little bit older than me, so you probably respect this stuff, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but you'll just know what I'm talking about whenever I say this,
Okay.
because one of my favorite things to do, and I hate it because I wish I had my uncle's collection, but I love, like on a rainy, stormy night, turning off every light in the house, going in the living room, and I have to do it on the TV now, unfortunately. I'll go in the living room, lay on the couch or whatever, lay in the bed in my bedroom, and I'll put Suspense, the old Mercury Theater radio program.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, you don't know Suspense?
No.
So I'll
See,
okay,
that would be scary to me, and I don't like scary.
I'll tell you this. It was the Twilight Zone before the Twilight Zone, and it was just
Okay.
radio programs. Now some of them were scary, but I'm telling man, I fall asleep like a damn baby listening to women scream and I,
Oh man, not me. Here,
yeah,
okay, all right. Since we're on this subject, and this is called a segue, folks.
yes.
Here's this. One of the things that I used to love falling asleep to, and I can't find it on TV anymore because I don't have cable, blah, blah, blah. But I used to have cable quite a bit. If the World Poker Tour was on television, I would get excited because I would put that on the television and I would sleep like a baby watching it. But here's the funny thing. At the time, because back in the early 2000s, late 2000s, the the poker craze was big. I don't know if you play poker or not, Matt. Not Matt. JD, J Mac. I don't know if you play poker or not, but I used to play and I still do.
Yeah, I play a little bit.
But when the poker craze was going on, the World Poker Tour had a couple of shows on different channels,
Uh-huh.
and I'd put it on, and I would be riveted. I mean, I could literally watch it all day long. I'd be riveted on the TV like just watching it because it was so cool to me. But at night, I put it on, fall asleep like that, and sleep like a baby. Wake up in the morning, it would still be on or whatever, because they had a channel dedicated to it. Absolutely loved it. Best sleep I ever had in my life was during the World Poker Tour. But I could also watch it with intensity and be riveted to the TV during the day. It was the weirdest thing. But what
See,
you said, no way. No way I could watch that stuff or listen to that stuff. No way.
so I love it. I absolutely love it, man. It's but see, that's the thing too. Is I love s- uh, I love weird, crazy stuff. Like I love to learn about stuff like that. I love learning about cryptids. You know, I love learning about paranormal stuff and everything. Although I have very different beliefs about stuff like that. Not in a bad way. I believe in God and stuff like that. But I just, I don't believe a lot of things that we get told. Again, the conspiracy mind coming. But and it's just different things. I love learning. One of my favorites is I love looking into the JFK assassination. I think that's fascinated, the world for, 60, 70 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, I don't know. I like learning about the odd stuff and everything, the stuff that everybody says is taboo. Well, why is it taboo? Is it taboo because, I don't know. I don't want to get off into a tangent and take your show into another direction
That's
or
for another
anything like
topic.
that.
That's another topic. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But it's more of a just don't believe everything you're told. Go out and read for yourself, study for yourself, and believe what your eyes and ears and senses tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Experience things. If it doesn't make sense on paper, remember the piece of paper will let you sit down and write anything on it.
There
Doesn't
you
make it
go.
true. But
That
yeah, I love weird, crazy stuff like that and everything. Yeah, I'm just a big yeah suspense. I love that stuff. Well, like I said, I commented, I think it was last week, my very first movie that my aunt and uncle took me to whenever I was 2 years old was the old 19, I want to say it was 80 Fog movie with Adrian Barbeau.
which one was it? What's it called?
The Fog.
Oh, The Fog.
Yeah.
Adrian Barbeau. Wow.
Adrian
There's
Barbeau. Yeah, see?
wow.
See, I forgot about Adrian Barbeau. I was 2 years old. I didn't know what the fog was, but I remember Adrian Barbeau from Swamp Thing.
I was about ready to say Swamp Thing. There you go.
Yes, yes.
And here's one.
Creep Show.
Never saw Freak Show.
Stephen King, Creep
Never saw it.
Show. Oh, it's great. Love it.
Here's
Go ahead.
one, an Adrian Barbeau movie that most people will know the movie but forget she was in it, especially if you're a guy. One of the best guy cult movies of all time, Escape from New York.
Was she in that?
Yeah, see, told you. Yes, she was. She was.
Why did
She
I
was
not
in that one.
remember that?
Escape from New York with Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah, I
Snake
love Kurt
Plissken.
Russell.
You're
Yes,
Snake Plissken. Yeah. One of the
I love
best
Escape from New York.
cult guy movies of all time. There you
I
go.
love Escape from New York.
That's great. It had Ox Baker in it. You know Ox Baker?
Yeah,
Yeah, the wrestler. Yeah, he was in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I not remembering Adrian Barbeau? I'm gonna have to go back and
She
watch
was
it.
the chick in it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
I
go back
think
and
she
watch it.
was Isaac Hayes played the what was it called? He was the dude, not the dude. He was the president. Oh, what the senator? What do they call him? the governor. Anyway, he was the. I think he was her love interest for a while. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. It's been forever. Now that you mentioned it, like
Snake
I've got it
Plissken.
on lists and stuff and everything, but I just always skip over it because, like, I watched that 100 times, you know.
Yeah,
But now that you're mentioning it, I'm like,
she's
man, I
in
gotta
it.
go back and watch it.
If
Yeah.
it wasn't her, I'd be shocked if it wasn't her. Unless I'm thinking of something completely different, but I'm
No,
pretty
you're
sure it was her.
probably right. You're probably right. Because I'm like, I'm a movie buff, so I try movie trivia and stuff like that. I'm all about it.
Okay, now I gotta look it up. Escape from New York.
Yeah, that's a good
Now
idea.
I gotta give credit where credit is not due. Escape from Los Angeles movie sucked.
It
It was
did,
horrible.
but I don't blame him for taking payday for what he got
Oh
for
no, absolutely not. No, Adrienne Barbeau, there she
it.
is. Yep, she was Maggie in that
Okay.
movie. Yep. Let's see what was Isaac Hayes' name in this movie. Isaac Hayes, the Duke, the Duke. That was it. The
Yeah.
Duke, the Duke. A number one, the Duke. A number one. Yeah. Okay.
See, I gotta look this picture up.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
doing it right now too. Hold on, let's see here. Adrian Barbeau, Escape from New York. Give me some images here.
Like I said, she's not
Wow,
remembered in that movie.
yeah.
Was Snake Plissken,
Damn.
one of the most iconic characters ever.
I
I
love
remember talking
Snake.
to a friend of
She's
mine
even
who's
on the damn cover.
is she on the cover of that?
I'm pretty, yeah, right here. She's running with him. He's
Okay.
got the president dude over his shoulder, and everybody's blasting at him. Woman in a red
Matt
dress.
says that John Carpenter, he started Roddy Piper in They Live, which is another
Yes.
great movie. They Live is awesome.
Did you know what John Carpenter said about They Live, don't you?
No, what? This ought
And
to be
John
good.
Carpenter said this is not a movie, this is a documentary. Great. It was absolutely great. He said, I came to chew bubble
Bubble gum
gum
and a kick
and kick
ass.
ass.
And I'm
And I'm
all out of
all
bubble
out of
gum.
bubble gum.
I used to
One
say
of the
that
greatest
all the time
lines.
when I walk into a class in high school. I came here to kick butt and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And the
Yep.
kids would look at me like, "What? What?" I said, "Never mind. You never get it."
Yep.
Oh my gosh, there's a They Live. Here's one from Roddy Piper, guys. I don't know. This is another segue, folks. Here we go. You ever hear the movie? You ever see the movie? Uh, it was called When Hell Comes to Frogville,
Hell comes to
or
Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, buddies and I watched that one night. It was on late at night. We were putting together
Terrible.
It was horrible.
It
we were put.
was.
And we're putting together a baby crib for one of my buddies who was expecting at the time. And we would time it. They would have the show on for 10 minutes and have 12 minutes of commercials. 10 minutes, 12 minutes of commercials. 10-minute show,
Yes.
12 minutes of commercials. And during the commercial, we put together baby crib. Of course, we were drinking during this too, but we started timing everything. It was more commercials than it was a movie, and the movie was horrible. But we watched
Yes.
it
It's
because of
terrible.
Roddy Piper.
It's. I tell you another movie of his that's terrible. I mean, it's so terrible. It's on the Charles Barkley level of terrible. It's not terrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible, Kenny.
Terrible.
It's
Terrible.
terrible, Kenny. But no, is but it's a cult classic. Is Body Slam.
Did it have Hulk Hogan in it too?
No, it's got everybody but Hulk Hogan.
I'm sure I saw it. I just don't remember it.
It's got the guy that plays Face on the A Team.
I never watched the A-Team.
I didn't either.
Okay.
As
Here,
can I just say something about the A Team real quick and have
yeah,
just one little short rant? How you gonna fire all them bullets and not hit one damn person?
exactly. Yeah.
Nobody ever. Everything blew up. and nobody got no shrapnel wounds. Nobody got shot in the arm. Nobody shot their foot off. There was not one. 5 men took on armies and never shed one friggin' drop of blood. And you expect me to want to watch this movie, man? Get out of here. B.A. Baracus couldn't hold Clubber Lang's jock strap.
Wow.
It
Wow.
was the worst movie in the world.
Here's see if you knew this. Roddy Piper, going back to Roddy Piper. He starred in several movies, not just one, but several, with Tybo founder Billy Blanks.
Oh, what were those movies?
They were several movies with him and Billy Blanks. My buddy and I, we used to both bartend at the same restaurant on Friday nights, Friday, Saturday nights, and the restaurant closed like at 11. And before we went, at Blockbuster, we'd go rent a Roddy Piper movie, and we get home on a Friday or Saturday night, dead tired, with a case of beer, and we would just pop one of those in, watch Roddy Piper and Billy Blanks. We'd watch them all. It was great.
The Tybo Kings.
There was one of the shows, I don't know which one it was, but Andrew Dice Clay. Remember that comedian, Andrew Dice Clay? You ever hear of it?
Yeah, I love Andrew Dice Clay.
He
Well, I
was
did
the
love him.
bad guy in one of the movies, one of his movies. And my buddy and I, to this day, I haven't talked to him in 15 years, but to this day, I guarantee he will tell you Andrew Dice Clay in that movie was probably the best bad guy in any movie you can think of. He was phenomenal in that movie as a bad guy.
I'll have to look it
I'll
up.
look it up. It was great.
Hey,
Andrew Dice Clay
Dave.
was
Sorry, I was
what?
just saying hi to my buddy who jumped in here. Dave, do me a favor. This is Andrew. Follow his show. Watch his show, Popcorn and Whiskey,
Hi,
buddy.
Dave. How you doing, my friend? Thanks for
But yeah,
being here. No,
did you
Roddy
ever
Piper,
see?
Billy Blanks, Andrew Dice Clay started as the bad guy in that movie.
Did you ever see the movie with Andrew Dice Clay called The Adventures of Ford Fairlane?
Yeah, I didn't like that so much.
I love it. You know why? Because it was just stupid goofy.
Yeah.
When I saw the koala bear, I knew I didn't have to take the movie seriously.
What was that other one he was in? It was Terry Hatcher was in it as well. It was called gosh darn, I used to have it on VHS as well. It was called something The Brain Smasher, a love story.
I've never seen it, and I probably
Great.
never will.
Great. Oh
See,
my
I love
God.
a good. I can't say that because I love a good B movie. When
Oh,
I'm
this
sitting
is
here, when I'm sitting here just editing and stuff and everything, I will put the worst B movie on Tubi right here on my other monitor and everything, and just listen to it.
find it. Find The Brain Smasher
The
by
Brain
Andrew Dice
Smasher.
Clay. It also has Terry Hatcher in there. There's parts of it where the bad guys are like Oriental type guys, and he keeps calling them ninjas. And pretty soon they say, "We are not ninjas. Quit calling us that." It's classic. It's so funny. I don't know why I'm laughing at it, but my gosh, The Brain Smasher. Oh,
I'm gonna
I
have
got
to
to watch
look
that
it
again.
up.
The
Sorry, I
Brain
was looking
Smasher.
at the comments coming in.
Who was the wrestler in Major Pain? That was Bigelow.
Bam Bam Bigelow, yes
Big
sir.
Bam
You are
Bigelow. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah. Matt, you're not going to stump me and J Mac together on wrestling movie appearances. You're not going to stump us. Sorry, you're not.
No.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard to stump me on a movie fact, to be honest with you, because I mean
Really?
I'm not even going to. If it was, man, I people ask me all the time, and I'm not saying this to brag in any way, shape, or form. I was raised, and just to give a little bit of a backstory of why, and also we think that we've recently found out that I grew up and was a little bit autistic.
Okay.
There's no way to really test that, but the major evidence is my kids and my grandkids are autistic, and my ex-wife ain't autistic. So, so it came from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So but the thing of it is like I used to, we used to rent movies all the time, watch movies all the time. That was just a pastime we did as a family.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then, my grandfather was a musician. My uncle was a musician. I used to sing with my uncle on stage. I started singing whenever I was 3 years old with him, singing Blue Suede Shoes and stuff and everything. So, I mean, it's just music. People ask me, as far as music, how many songs do I know? And
A
I'm like,
lot.
it depends on what you define by know. If you're talking about just songs that I've heard and I could, recognize again, you're 100,000 easy. I was like, but if you're talking about
Wow.
songs I know by heart, I could probably sing 10, 15, 20,000 songs by heart.
Wow.
I would be willing to get to bet that, just because it's always been prevalent. Music was just such a big influence in my family because of, the my grandfather and stuff like that. So it was just always a big thing to me. And of course, I do a little bit of singing too and everything. So it's just like, yeah, when it comes to and then movies, like I said, and that plays into where we're finding out I was, autistic. It plays into the obsessing over stuff to the point of just, super memorization and everything. And I think it plays into the wrestling stuff too. And the memorization of that, it was something I locked onto, and boom, yeah, it's
Interesting.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I would be willing to do trivia with anybody. And I would vouch, I would bet 100% that I may not answer every question correct, but I will not walk away being the weak link, and you will definitely want me on your team again. I
That's
know, I
what.
know, I know stupid facts that nobody should know. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid, and it pops into my head. People will say stuff, and I'll be like, "Did you know that because of that, a cork or I don't know." It's just stupid stuff.
Wow. We might have to do that sometime. We'll have to get into some sort of trivia some night. We'll have to get me, you, JD, and a few other folks on here and see if we can stump each other with trivia. We'll have like 15 or 20 questions each, trivia questions about different
Works
subjects,
with
and
me. That works with me.
we'll do
We'll
that.
start. We'll start a virtual Trivial Pursuit game night or something.
Hey,
Turn it into a game show.
that's good. No, in a few weeks we'll see because I might not be able to be doing my show on a Saturday night anymore. I might have to take another day of the week because of the position I'll be taking soon. If and
Oh
then
yeah,
I haven't broadcasted what it is yet because I need to. A few things have to happen first, but it might be weekend nights that I'll be working, which not happy about. But the money is
you
will
gotta
be
do what
well
you
worth
gotta
it.
do. You
Yeah,
gotta
you
do
gotta
what you
do what
gotta
you gotta
do,
do.
man.
So we'll see from that. All
But
right, dude.
yeah,
I'm gonna let you go. It's getting late my time, and I've been up way too long. I gotta go to bed soon.
it's
So
cool. Shooting on 11:30, and I gotta take this youngin to watch Spider-Man in the morning. So yeah,
in the
I
morning, what
appreciate you
time you
having.
going to? What time the theaters open where you where you live?
Man, it's crazy. I guess the movie's more popular than what they say, because the first showing where we're going is at like 10:45 in the morning.
Holy moly!
Yeah, but I'm hitting the matinee up too, so I can pay a little bit less too.
Oh
I'm
yeah, and get the popcorn.
I'm
Yeah.
broke. No, we're gonna sneak in candy like y'all. Yeah, man, we do it old school.
Hey, I mentioned my old girlfriend and I. We used to go to Subway and get 2 foot long hot dog, a foot long the Subway $5 foot longs, and she'd bought a special cheap purse. She called it her Subway purse, and we used to put the Subways in her purse, and she'd bring it into the theaters, and we'd watch a double feature. We'd
So
make it so we could watch one movie, then go to another movie to watch another one, and we just get drinks there, and that's it. Yeah.
so so before you get out of here, I got to tell you another two more stories real quick
Sure,
that have
sure.
to do with that. So me and Uncle Slam were talking about that earlier, and he said, "Man," he said, "I was sneaking in so much stuff." He said, "I got four daughters." He said, "I was sneaking in so much stuff. I was walking, I was rattling every step I was taking because all the candy boxes were."
You go to the
He
dollar
said, "I
store
was
and get
just
them all. That's
rapping."
right.
Yep. But No, it's funny you was talking about the Subway purse. My first ex-wife, we used to go to Golden Corral, and she would take her quote unquote Subway purse. We'll call
Hmm.
ours the Golden Purse because I would go up and get some bacon wrapped applewood steak. I'd get two at a time, take them to the table, and dump them in the purse. And
Hey,
she had a tray in the bottom of them, so where we could just close the lid over top of it, nothing would spill out. Take it home, man. I left one time with like 10, 15 steaks, man. I ain't
oh
gonna
my
lie.
gosh,
Me and my family ate some steaks that week.
good for you.
I was like, I got kids, man. You said all I could eat. Well, you didn't, you know.
You didn't say I had to eat it there.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Wow.
right. No, I can't do that stuff no more. I can't even go to places like Golden Corral because it does me no good. I don't have the appetite for it no more.
Yeah.
I can eat one plate and that's about it.
Give me the Sam's Club or the Costco, get the hot dogs, and I'm good to go.
See, I can't do hot dogs anymore, man. I'm so picky about what. For one, I'm watching my blood pressure and everything, and
Hmm.
trying to just do things naturally without having to deal with medicine and stuff. So it's been a struggle because I've had to. And what I found out is the bad thing is you have to have salt. It's all that sodium that they sell that's iodized
What do you
sodium and
mean you
stuff like that.
have to have salt?
Your body has to have salt.
Right, but it will get it naturally because there's everything
Right.
we
But well, that's what
consume
I'm
has
saying.
salt in it.
Right. That's what I'm saying though. The only real salt we should be using to salt our foods or anything is Celtic sea salt because it's got the minerals in it and everything. But even at that, you don't need a whole lot of it.
No.
But you because see, I didn't know it that when you go to the hospital with a high blood pressure, the first thing that they do is push 2 bags of saline solution. They call it a push.
Hmm.
And what is saline solution? Salt water. But it's, the right kind. It's not table salt. It's been chemically altered and all that other crap that they do to it. So I've had to cut salt out of everything and just dealing with stuff naturally and stuff. So I don't mess with it no more.
Well, I tell people all the time on my fitness channel, cut back on salt, cut back on sugar, drink more water. Do
Yeah.
those three things,
People
and
don't,
you're going to see a change in your health right away.
oh yeah, people don't realize how much sugar feeds into diseases.
Yep, absolutely, yes. So
Yep. My biggest problem with that is this right here, soda.
yeah, cut it out.
I know it's hard, man, but
I say as I'm
drink
drinking
water
whiskey. Here
to.
we go. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, drinking a glass of whiskey is not going to hurt you. It's actually okay for you.
Where's your speaking of that, where's your purple toad tonight?
I didn't have any tonight. I
Okay.
didn't go get any. I didn't leave the house. Well, I did leave the house earlier today, but me and my daughter went out and I just didn't do anything. I was lazy and stayed at the house and was going to watch popcorn and whiskey. And then you invited me on. So I was like, let's talk.
All
You
right.
know me, I'm always willing to jump at a moment's notice. I'm
Amen, brother.
boring. I stay home.
You're like me. I'm an old man. I stay home. I'm a hermit.
That's it.
So,
That's it.
all right, my friend. Thanks for being on my show. I'm gonna let you go so I can close out the show.
I appreciate it. Everybody go watch Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc Wrestling Unscripted Friday nights, 8 o'clock. We do a interview and then we do a profile show. So come over and check us out if you're a wrestling fan. And anybody that's from my show that's watching this, hit this man up, give him a follow and a like and a share and a subscribe.
Appreciate that. And if you're watching this show and for whatever reason, if you can't find Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, let me know and I'll direct you over toward him. And if you have a show, you need, I'd like to have me or J Mac on your show, whatever it is. You know how we can talk here. We can adapt to any situation. We got it
Yes.
taken care of.
Yes.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
You too, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Later.
All right, guys. We had a great show tonight. J Mac, my buddy's on here, and Matt, thank you for being on here. I hope we answered some of your questions, and And Dave, appreciate you coming on. And Sydney, thank you. Carrie Ann, thank you. We had all kinds of folks coming on here. It was fun. We had a good time. Gee whiz. I think this is probably one of the longest shows I've ever done. This is pushing 3 hours. Yeah, so when you have fun and you just want to talk and you can do it and people listen and people interact, it makes it so much more fun. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to stop it here. My name is Andrew, Popcorn and Whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. So until next time, ciao.